The water not 2023. I mean, the water does it exist?
I knew you was gonna ask that.
Plastic, is it the plastic that expires, or is it the water that expires?
The chemicals in the plastic seeps into the water, thus giving it an expiration date.
I did not know that.
I knew it was something that everything has a date on it.
That's why you don't leave water bottles in the car, because if they get hot, you basically boiling the water in plastic. So now you're drinking plastic.
Jason, why you got Christmas colors on? I just realized that.
I mean, I was matching the scenery in my background. You know, trying to green. I don't imagine like a lumberjack.
Cut down the tree. Okay, flannel.
Come on, there we go. No, that's it. That's it.
Look at Freddy Krueger right now. You got that same. It was a spot on.
Hey man, but
Jason look hot.
He do
hot.
I'm not though. I'm actually cold. So that's why, I mean, that's another reason I put it on.
They don't know what season it is. It's contextual. In New York. In New York.
Yo, definitely hot. They burn up there.
But let's get into it. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning. Whenever you find this podcast, this is the Was It Good Though podcast about movies and TV shows. I am one of your hosts. I am Jason.
I am Jazz.
And we are joined today with a first-time guest, somebody I've been trying to get on, Miss Sade. How are you?
Oh, I'm peachy keen. Hope y'all are too.
We are. And we brought back a long-time guest, one of our horror movie aficionados. Chris, how are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing great. It's very hot outside down in Florida, but I'm doing good.
I can imagine. I see you rubbing your chin. You just got cleaned up at the barber today or something?
Nah. I actually need to get a little shaped up. It's holding up well. It's been like a week or two, so it's surprisingly holding up pretty well.
Okay. It's been about a week or two for me as well.
It shows, but we can tell.
But my nigga. Anything that you would like to plug or put out there for the people to follow? Because I know you've probably had a lot going on. If you would like to, sir.
Sure. Yeah, I got Twitter where I talk about random things at Chris LaFleur. Also Instagram is the same, and also Letterboxd also the same at Chris LaFleur, like Gucci Man LaFleur. I have a blog that I've been pretty active on as of late. Okay. Crazy Scary Cool. Been writing pretty prolifically on just mainly sports right now, a couple movie reviews. I'm gonna get my YouTube channel. Me and some friends are gonna be talking about the NFL. That's gonna be a little bit when training camp kicks off, like July or August, but we're gonna be talking about that. Definitely want to get that going, eventually transition to Twitch. So definitely just trying to put myself out there.
Okay, I see you, Kai. So
all grown up.
But for episode 160, yes, 160 them, we are getting into the latest from Danny Boyle, I think is his name, right? And Alex Garland. I think they did it together. 28 years later, the third installment in the 28 Days trilogy. I personally only recently seen these films to prepare for the review, so I didn't see them when they first or initially came out. I think this would be more so Chris and Jazz's lane. So Jazz, how did you feel about knowing this movie was coming out with the history of the previous films that you've seen?
I was definitely excited. I enjoyed the first two films and the story that they were telling, even though they weren't really attached to one another. But of course, you see where things started with the first film and then how it advanced as time went on. So to see what happened 28 years later, it's just like, oh, okay. So they're pretty much accustomed and used to the living lifestyle of the infected being running people running around, similar to The Last of Us. So I was curious as to what kind of story they were going to tell, and also an actor that I'm a fan of was starring in this, and I was just like, oh, okay, let's see what he's able to do. You know, run around. Hopefully, he survives. But yeah, I was definitely excited.
Chris, what about you?
Yeah, so this is considered one of the best horror films of the 2000s, at least 28 days later. So I know this 28 years later has been in development hell for a couple years now. So finally to come to fruition, you know, it's always good. I was just mainly pretty curious on what the story was going to tell. I mean, I guess there's, a whole world that they can show. But yeah, this is like a really, the first one is very highly acclaimed. So anytime you have like a really well-received movie that gets a sequel, I'm always going to be pretty excited for it. So yeah, definitely was looking forward to this.
Got you. So I'm trying to break this down in different sections. We're looking, I mean, just based on how the movie was, because it's pretty straightforward for the most part. You see Spike dealing with his father. You see Spike, how he reacts to his father, but then how he deals with his mother, and how he reacts to, finding out those things. So I'm gonna ask y'all, because y'all have a better opinion in that than I do. Would y'all consider this a coming of age zombie film? Could you?
I've never even heard of that
I
before.
need you to describe what a coming of age zombie film looks like.
I feel like Jason just made that up.
I did. I literally did. But so you know what a coming of age film is? A kid that's going through life and they're figuring out something, and there's a turn in their life that they have to overcome. So just based on what you see in this film, the zombies kind of play background to what's actually going on in his life. Now he has to face it because he has to go into the real world, but he's dealing with stuff that he's never. So in this film, Spike was Spike was born post pandemic. So he was born after, on a land where he hasn't experienced a lot of things. He doesn't know what a cell phone is. He doesn't know what online is. He don't really know what diseases are. He know what a doctor is. He know who mom, dad, but there's a lot of stuff that he didn't know. So based on what I just said, and so just think of a coming of age film and just be like, it's a horror. It's just said
he just had a really shitty week.
He's
born in a
pandemic. Does the time limit make a difference as to when you learn a lesson?
I mean, you can learn.
Go ahead.
Now I was just gonna say, like, you can learn a lesson in a day, but I guess when I think of coming of age, I think of it happening over a nice time period, in my opinion. So I would say The Wood is coming of age. You know what I'm saying? So I wouldn't call it that, but
it's a horror film, but I guess for me, the circumstances change because now you're dealing with post-apocalypse. So when you start living in a post-apocalyptic world, sometimes those things, like he doesn't get to grow up the way the people in The Wood grew up, where they just dealing with Stacy and the girls that he's into. He's dealing with real life situations head on, like right then and there. What you was gonna say, Shada?
I think I agree with you because I think you gotta, when you take the time period into context, you actually gotta take mortality into context too. And The Wood can be a coming of age movie that takes place over a long period of time because you probably gonna live for a long time in that universe. But in a zombie universe, 28 days, you're doing great. You stayed alive 28 days, great job. You stayed alive 28 weeks, you actually survival of the fittest type stuff. You know what I'm saying? And it's only been 28 weeks. And he was like finding himself. The man was shooting the zombies with ease by the end. By the end, he was really, he seemed like he was really comfortable or more confident. He became a more confident person over those 4 days because he was this little boy who was shooting the zombies in the leg when his daddy was saying shoot him in the head. And he managed to tread across the water by himself, go back and, fish. So I feel like I get what you're saying because a coming of age movie in the zombie world, it can't take too long. You might die. Every day is a gift. Every day is a gift. You don't have your entire adolescence a lot of the time. It's spooky, man. That's it.
What you was for to say, Chris?
So I guess two things. So to your point, if I'm not mistaken, on the Wikipedia, I think it does describe it as a coming of age story. Yeah, I'm pretty sure, unless it got changed. But to Jazz's point, I feel like by the end of part 2, assuming that we're gonna finish Spike's story, then I think by that point it will be a come. I don't think we saw enough. So I think with a coming of age, there has to be some sort of transformation. You have to learn something. I don't really feel like we learned from Spike. I just don't think that we've seen enough for this fully to call this a coming of age. Right now, I would say it's maybe like a zombie drama, but not fully coming of age, because what have we actually learned about Spike? What have we really learned about Spike? Or more importantly, what has Spike learned about himself? Like maybe he's gotten better at hunting, but I don't think that there has been like a personal growth or metamorphosis to say that he's actually had a coming of age. So it's almost there, but not quite.
Maybe the coming of age is really the first baby. Y'all know the first kid, Jimmy. We ain't learned nothing about Jimmy, but we saw Jimmy running, and then we saw Jimmy with a little silly game that was actually kind of cold doing parkour off of mountains.
So if they gave Jimmy his own film and to see where he was after his him running, surviving, and then up to being an adult, then yes, I would say that's definitely coming of age. But yeah, I definitely
say Jason.
We're gonna say we're gonna talk about Jimmy last because I don't know if y'all I don't know if y'all researched Jimmy, but I did. We got something to talk. I got something to talk about. Yeah, it changes the context of the film once you actually know what's really going on. But
can I ask one question, just like based on what I think Sade said? Like, what's the difference? Not to get into semantics, but what's the difference between a coming of age and a biopic? Because y'all said if we watch Jimmy, that would be his story. But I guess like, is every biopic, to me that would just be a biopic, not necessarily a coming of age story. Like, is every biopic a coming of age story, or is there a difference?
Ooh, that's a good question. I just learned what coming of age was 2 weeks ago. Nah, but for real, I believe in a biopic. The difference is you kind of, I mean, it tells us in a biopic it's more of a story about a person. In this, I think it'll be different because if this story actually followed Jimmy, it would have been Jimmy, how he reacted to the zombies coming into it. That entire middle part is lost. We don't know what he went through, what goes on outside of, the history of the character that he's portraying in London. But then you get the end of it, you kind of see how he responded to it, because when he was a kid, he was running, he was scared, he was afraid, rightfully so. Went to his dad for protection or assistance. His dad was tripping out, just praying like he ready for the reckoning to come. Jazz, this is what I see when you say Jesus need to bring the flood, like you being a person to just sit there and allow this to just happen.
There's no way you see that.
When you say
you gotta get your eyes checked. If so, you need to get your eyes checked.
Just stop. Don't ask for the flood no more. That's what I see when you say
Jason, you seeing that is not me seeing that when I say it. Absolutely not. That's crazy.
When you say bring the flood, do you expect yourself to beat the flood?
No, but I'm not gonna sit there like, yes, my children bite on me, eat me. Like, nah, his daddy was wild.
His dad was bananas.
Like, no,
it was scary. And then he actually took charge as a zombie. Like he crowd surfed to the front. He crowd surfed to the front and led them out of the church. I said,
and they followed him.
Oh, he knew what he was doing.
He had been praying for that while his family was getting eaten at the house down the street.
Calmly. Breath ain't shaking. His breath was not shaking. I would have at least been shivering a little bit.
He started laughing when they busted through the windows. He said, yes,
my children.
But honestly, Chris, I think the main difference is the retelling of somebody's story as opposed to showing a story of a central focus story about somebody and their growth and development, over not necessarily a lifespan, but through a time period. And maybe that's the difference. Maybe it's the lifespan versus the time period, because it's never a coming of age story. You never really see them kid to adult. I mean, I'm pretty sure there is one. I'm not gonna say there's not, but typically it's it's a period. It's a summer. It's a school time, or whatever that may be. But that's just my personal opinion. But Spike, Spike, they grew up in this isolated land, which in 28 years later, I guess it's 28 years from the original movie. So they're in the future, I guess. And you're dealing with this when they're isolated. So now everybody in London are back, but they have isolated the quarantine people, so they can't come to they can't come to the regular country anymore. They're kind of stuck where they are. And this Spike's first day going out into the mainland. So Jazz, what did you think of Spike with Aaron Taylor Johnson?
So the whole town was rooting for Spike. I was rooting for Spike. And then Spike got out there and I was like, all right, Spike a little shaky. But of course, it's your first time. Zombies are scary. I would have been like, I'll wait till 15. 12? Nah, I ain't ready, Dad. I ain't ready.
Saying he should have made that man lift some weights or something before you just brought him out there. Just a little scrawny 12-year-old.
So I was gonna ask y'all, do y'all feel like he should have waited at least 3 more years?
Absolutely.
16. Absolutely. 16.
At least 15.
18. Spike.
What's the rush?
Right. Exactly.
You prepare, but you're in a post-apocalyptic world. I get it. But at the same time, I gotta prepare him for this because anything can happen. And now, because of what we find out later, I think that was the reasoning. If something was to happen to me, who's going to take would have inherited him and just took him into the. But he has to be able to fend for himself in case something was to happen because we see his mama's deteriorating. We don't know the reasoning, what's happening, what's going on, or maybe they do. So I think I personally think it was a thing of we need to get him ready to take care of himself just in case, because anything can happen, especially now.
So I understand that, but even the leaders of the town said it was too early. So there's a reason as to why they think 15 is a good starting point for them to go out in the mainland. His dad, look, Jason, they're a community. So it's not like, all right, we just going to let you fend for yourself. While they were in the mainland, you had his mom being watched by somebody, the other gentleman that was there. So
her grandfather, her father was watching her though.
But so you have a community there. So even if something happened to his father, his mother, like he's just not going to be out on his own. You see what I'm saying? 3 more years probably would have allowed him more time, in my opinion. Like I see what you're saying, but 12, he was out there shaking like a stripper.
He deserves a arc.
It has to happen. He has to go through something to do it because you think he's going to be any more prepared at 15 than at 12 to not be afraid. I mean, to face a zombie that you ain't never faced, it'd probably be the same.
I think his stamina would have been up a lot better within those 3 years because his running was terrible.
I mean, a 12-year-old versus now, when you start getting into the physical attributes, that's a little bit different. We're talking about his character. Though. Not really.
Hell yeah, it's important. What you mean?
I'm saying you facing a zombie at 12. You're gonna be, if you're scared, you're gonna be scared no matter what age you're at. That doesn't change anything. Now, how much more physically you can physically able to do that? Yes, you can, but you can still be preparing this. You can still be preparing him. That's just like we watch sports. A lot of times the kids that's been going through sports as kids, they're a bit more acclimated as they go. So if you're training the kid up to that point, then yes. But now if they're not doing nothing at 15, they just go out there. It's just I personally don't think it would have mattered in that. He would have been the same exact person.
He would have been able to prepare himself. At one point, his dad had to damn near carry him running.
Yeah.
He was a liability. But also to Jazz's point, this felt like it was more so like a ceremony than actually something that they need to do, because it wasn't like they were out there getting resources, or it's not like they actually need for survival. They were just doing this almost as like the same way people have like a bar mitzvah. This was like what you do in this. So like it was if it was a thing of where like we need people to survive or we need to go resources, they dead ass just went out there just for shits and giggles. They didn't really need to go out there. So like I don't really feel like they could have waited. Because like if he goes out, let's say, okay, he goes out there and he does it and then he's able to come back. What did they actually gain? Like we know that you're going to go out there and do it, but they didn't even go out there and do shit. They shot some people, spent the night.
They shot niggas. Back. What you mean? Now he can shoot. Now he can shoot niggas. Because now I'm looking in my mind. It didn't happen in this film. Hopefully, it happens in the next one. But I'm over here thinking of what if the Alphas breach this place? Then what the fuck happens with Spike? What goes on in it? You said
They
what?
fucked regardless. But if they breached, they fucked regardless. They lost their home, they lost their fortitude. So like I guess I'm trying to figure out like, so if it's The Walking Dead, then it's like all hands on deck, then you need people to fight. But we already safe. Like we don't need to go out there and get resources. We don't need to go out there and get oil. We don't need to go out there to do anything.
We
They
have
get
farms.
for no like I know they training, but it's not like they going out there for a purpose. It's just to see that you do it. But why not wait until you older if you just going out there to do it? And that was kind of the part of the movie that was a little bit weak to me because I feel like they needed a better reason to go out there. You know what I'm saying? In my opinion.
Yeah, it annoyed me. He was like, we got your kills." I was like, "Kills? That you took your baby to just let's just go kill some zombies, son." Like, no, he could have made that baby do some more push-ups, got him to lift some weights, got that 16-year-old body mass, played football on the farm, and
Yeah.
he would have been faster and stronger and able to hold his own. That was a baby. That was a baby. The little boy couldn't hop up in the roof. You
That
couldn't
part.
hop in the roof.
That part. A 16-year-old Spike would have been able to do it to where they wouldn't have failed.
You are putting a whole lot on it to say what a person can and can't. I don't know. I watched Ellie. I don't know. I seen Ellie at age and Joe was carrying her. Joe had to carry her. I'm just saying.
Think about yourself then. You at 12 versus you at 16. You just the same little guy, the same little whippersnapper.
I was the same height, but no.
Oh, all right then. Boom. You were stronger, right?
I played football at
faster,
that point.
right?
I played football at that point.
Yeah, and then that's.
I agree. I said no. I did. Now I did say physically, yes, he would be in a better space. But I'm talking about brain, like him getting in situationally. I feel like he would be the same person.
No, not necessarily. With more confidence.
So you said so this is okay. So let me. This is extreme. When nigga put a gun at your face at 12 versus 16. Are you handling that differently?
Yes. At 12, I might break down and cry. At 16, I might
still break down and cry. I'm not talking that. I'm still, but I don't know.
Even at 16, let's say at 16, let's say I'm able to find a way to get away. At 16, I'm gonna be faster. I'm gonna have a better chance. At 12, I might stumble. I might freeze up. At 12 and 16 is a big difference, dog. Even if you're watching sports, there's niggas at 16 hooping that's doing crazy dunks that niggas do in the NBA. 12-year-olds ain't doing that. So yeah, like if I put it like this, if you have if let's say you got to go out and do a raid, who you taking, the 16-year-old or the 12-year-old?
Oh, for sure. I'm for sure I'm taking the 6. I'm never wait. So don't make it like I'm okay with the I said in him waiting to 15, I just don't think it would have been that much of a difference. But when it comes to someone in front of you dying and they know this person is dying, it's a thing of what if I died? What happens in that situation? You still have to be able to care for you. And I need to make sure I see you be able to take care of yourself in this moment. The thing of, we got a family, we got a village, XYZ, that's cool. That's with anybody that's raising a kid. You're going to see it a little bit differently. If I can make sure if I can teach my kid this and not have to leave this responsibility with another person, I'm going to make sure I take care of it. And that's the only thing I can see in that. Now, as far as them going out only made sense for the second half of the movie. And now, how y'all feel about that? That's that. Hey, I'm.
We gonna get to that.
We can't do water. The water not connected. I'm sorry.
Cause this Spike, man, I'm with Jazz. Fuck them kids, man.
What? Y'all didn't like Spike?
We gonna get to it, but that
we're here. No, we're here now. What do you think? What did you think about Spike, Chris?
Spike, I mean, he's a kid, so he did kid shit, but he put his entire community at risk for nothing. I mean, do we want to get there and just?
When we get there, I got some words for that little boy.
Yeah,
I was like, that little shit.
Let's go ahead and empty the clip on Spike right now.
What? The man burnt the store. The store.
Go ahead, Sade.
Bruh, the first ace, that's the clothes, bro. And you burned it to take your sick mama somewhere where you know what Alpha is with your little bitty body. And you almost died. No
He
way.
should be dead. No. Spike should be dead. This plot. Now y'all talk a lot about plot armor. Spike should have been dead within an hour.
Yeah.
His
Wow.
mother, she selectively stopped having dementia. Out of
And she
nowhere.
a beast. She got
Wait,
strength.
wait. So she didn't. So she didn't have dementia.
We
So
just saying.
did y'all? Wait. So let me ask this because I swear to God, Ivy makes me so motherfucking sick of knowing every motherfucking sickness, every ailment, every camera lens, every. I wish he was on here because I would have ran his motherfucking. Let me ask you. Did y'all know that she was dealing with cancer? Did y'all know this?
I said she probably got a brain tumor because she had psychotic breaks, but my brain at first was like, she got the disease and she's drinking it in the water and it's slowly infecting her. It was very crazy up there at first for me. But I was like, she probably just got a brain tumor because, it's like psychosis.
I mean, I thought that she just had, I know it kind of sounds stupid, but I thought she just had early onset dementia. I thought that maybe something going on like with the virus, maybe it caused like sicknesses to happen before because she was forgetting things. And then also there were times, so like my grandfather had dementia. So like, and my dad would tell me that like it would literally transport you back to like another time. So my grandfather would go back to 1975 and they would talk about it extremely lucidly. So when she started talking about with her father and having like vivid like memories of them, I thought it was dementia. I thought that was a nice misdirect, but that's what I thought she had.
Yeah, I was thinking every mental disease that a person could possibly have. Then I went to possibly Alzheimer's, but maybe Alzheimer's not the one anyway. But so
Right,
yeah,
that's somewhere you.
because I'm like, man, I wonder, but then when we find out, I was like, holy shit. But Jazz, what about you?
Nah, I definitely agree with what Chris said. I thought that as well. I was just like, okay, so how is this going to impact the story?
Okay.
And
So
we saw what happened. But no, I love that y'all. I was afraid I was gonna get on here and y'all was gonna be like, nah, Spike did the right thing, kind of shit. And I was just like, I'm about to be bashing kids 2 weeks in a row. You know what? I love this. I love this. Thank you. Because absolutely not. The fact that he was scared shitless the day before, he thought it was a good idea to get his mother and be like, oh, we about to bounce. Put his community in danger like he did. As soon as she got out there, she said, hold on. Why we out here? How we in the mainland? You kidnapped your mother because if she knew, she would not have gone with you. She said, where dad at?
But for him, it was the whole thing of who cares about his mom like he cared about her. The dad clearly don't. The dad he's saying, like I said, the story with his dad. Like I said, you see his dad as somebody everybody loves him. He can
He's
fight.
Popular.
He can go out, he can fight, he can hold himself, he can hold his own. But shit, now you go to the party, he lying. He's drinking, he's cheating on he's cheating on your mom.
Hold
He
on.
come back to the house, what
Jason,
mm-hmm.
All right, hear me out. Now, I am not a supporter of cheating at all whatsoever. Let me go ahead and throw that out there. But we are living in a post-apocalyptic world. Your wife is sick. She's always yelling at you, and you the shit in the town. So you like, I mean, I can get, some action around here. Like, he's getting some homes.
We can pass this to Sade. Sade, how would you handle this situation?
If I was the emotional little boy?
No, if you was the dad.
If you were the able body, your significant other is sickly in the home.
God, this fucked up, Jason. All right. I'm all for human rights, but during the zombie apocalypse, bro, human wrongs be okay, bro.
Thank you.
Like, bro,
Lori is
innocent.
Apocalypse.
Are you turning into a zombie wife? She's literally like, cut, like, like spooky stuff. The man is stressed. Okay,
right.
I can't. It's a stressful world. What is he supposed to do?
Thank you.
Be there for your cancer bedridden wife.
As much as he can be.
He be holding her. But Jason, hold on. If you was the father and Sandra Bullock is in the same town as y'all and y'all partying together and your wife is at the crib sick, always screaming at you every time.
There's so many black women.
My bad. Let me correct myself. Tiana Paris is at the party cheering you on and she just like laughing at your jokes and shit. Is you gonna be like, but my wife?
Bro, first off, my jokes are funny. I don't know why you got to say it like this, like she's just gonna be the one person
I
that's
just
gonna be
wanted you to
laughing
know that
at
she's
this.
like
I'm
she's
gonna be
giving you the
Sammy.
hardest
I am
laugh.
turning into Preacher Boy to Miss Tiana Paris.
Exactly.
I
Chris,
really can't blame the man. I can't
no.
blame him just because of his wife's condition. But cheating on your sick wife is so bad. But bro, you might not be alive tomorrow. Honestly, why y'all married? I don't know. It's just
And if we want to get darker with it, she might not even be there tomorrow. So I guess he should have waited longer. Sorry.
Yes.
Chris, what are you doing in that situation? Are you staying faithful to your wife, or are you just like,
I want to say yes, I would, because like Sade said, cheating on your sick wife is crazy. But the fact that, and this is where the movie, in my opinion, was a little inconsistent, because when they showed her at home, she was totally out of it. Like, didn't seem that she knew what was going on. So that's why I thought dementia. In that case, to where like she's essentially incapacitated, I can kind of see where bro is coming from a little bit more, because she's so out of it that you can tell her that like, yo, I'm cheating on you, and she would forget it 10 minutes later. You know what I'm saying? That's what it was seeming like, because they told old boy that he was going to school, that Spike told her she was going to school, and she got so confused. So in that sense, it really is like cheating on someone who has like amnesia, is never going to recall it. So
she thinks you're her dad.
So yeah, exactly. So it's like it's wrong, but I can kind of understand. Like he just fucked up by like letting his son see, which that was just totally by accident. But I can kind of see it, unfortunately.
Um. So one thing in this movie, a lot of the visuals, I do feel were amazing. I know a lot of people love. If you're watching, you can see Jazz background. A lot of people like this screen. I do think those personally to me, it wasn't a great. It didn't look good. It didn't look that amazing in my personal opinion.
is it because it was so dark?
No, it just didn't look that great. It looked like green screen to me. Even though I know they built something to make it look the way it did. Very intense scene. Sade, what did you think about when Spike and his dad was running from the Alpha when they were trying to make it across
Trying to make it to
the
that other side? Boy, they died 4 times in my head. Cause first off, the Alpha, why is he so fast? But I was like, you know what? There are athletes in the world. What if LeBron James got bit? We'll have a big ass strong zombie. Where are the NFL player zombies? So that's why I went. But they said like the mutation just did that to some of them. But the man was scary, and I hate that he had perfect form. Why does the rest of them running like this? That man, he had perfect form, y'all. It was terrifying. I don't know. I thought he'd leave his son because
he should have. God, I was rooting for him to leave
I thought
Spike.
because the little boy just gave up, y'all. He was like, get up, get up. The little boy was like, I'm done, Daddy, I'm done. We dead, we dead, Daddy, we dead.
I just know Jason would have left that little nigga out there like, oh,
He was
12
I
is
would
old
not
enough.
not mine. I wouldn't leave mine. Now somebody else's, I'd be like, look, I tried,
The
but not
man
mine.
said, Daddy, I can't do it. The man gave up, bro. He gave up, and that's how you know he had no business out there. Should have waited till he was 16. Get some perseverance about them. 12-year-olds are little quitters because they're still very emotional babies.
Oh my God, yes.
Wait till you get a 15-year-old. It doesn't go anywhere. That shit is the same. I'm dealing with a 15-year-old that quits all the time. I don't want to hear that.
He run faster.
She made the volleyball team. Shout out to her. But goddamn it, no. Yeah.
See, she faster. There we go.
I got a question for y'all. Like looking at the infected in this movie, because we had like I would say 3 different types. You had the slow, overweight ones, and then you had the ones that was just fast, and then you had the alpha. Like, how did y'all feel about the design of the 3 different type of infected? And then you had one that was pregnant, but we gonna get to that. But
I appreciated the slower. I appreciated the heavier ones being slow because I can't remember what Dawn of the Dead. I watched somebody get bit, a big old something, and she just jumped up on her 2 feet and started running. It was like, whoa, calm down. That's not realistic. So, at least everybody went fast. I appreciate that slow zombies exist because in the fast zombie world, my mortality just gets, I'm going to die. It gets lower and lower. Yeah, the promise of life becomes lower and lower. At least I got a chance.
Yeah. What about you, Chris?
I liked it. You know, like a lot of time going from The Last of Us and The Walking Dead and just a lot of zombie movies. A lot of them are just like really like monstrous and like they just look like almost disfigured. This was refreshing that they still kind of looked human, you know. So like it kind of makes it scarier in a way. And the fact that they can run is just absolutely terrifying. But I'm kind of curious like on why like some of them get fat and why some get athletic. Like I'm just kind of curious on like how that happens, and maybe an extended cut could explain that or what have you. But nah, I liked it, and the slow ones are kind of scary too because they're like ugly, but they were all kind of scary. But I enjoyed it.
It's also interesting that they started eating worms.
It is.
I was like, they just eat anything that moves.
Yeah,
it moves and they eat it. They found the worm. They eat cockroaches. You know what I'm saying? It was interesting because it showed that the zombies had survival instinct.
And I guess technically,
and that's dangerous, right there.
And like so in the original one, it like when it was infecting the chimpanzee, it just makes them highly aggressive. So like not to get like the semantics, but they're technically infected and not zombies. So I think they just hungry because even with the alphas, like I don't even think they were eating them. They were just ripping their head off.
Right.
They weren't even eating them, So I don't even think hunger is like a like what they're looking for. They just want to kill you. And then maybe some pieces. They're not trying to eat you alive.
Because in there, kind of like going to what the Sade said as far as them having survival instincts, they starved the infected. It took like 5 weeks, if I'm not mistaken. On 28 weeks later, they starved them out. But of course, the infection started back because one of the women who was infected had her blood she had a cure in herself, but she could infect people at the same exact time. So that's what our outbreak started back. And all you do, of course, we see people don't know how to handle zombie outbreaks. They just put them all in one room and let them just go crazy and think that's not gonna backfire. But on this, of course, when the father and son, when they out on a trip, we kind of see trails of Jimmy being left around. They've been going around just going crazy out on this journey. We also see
Kelsey. Think about that. You're right. The word Jimmy on the bricks was the little boy. See, look at that. This is good. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, even the zombie that was hanging upside down, he wrote his name in his body too.
It was a J. I'm like, I have my glasses on. I was like, I-M-M-Y. I wonder what that acronym means. It was a Jimmy. Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
Jimmy's a monster.
Yeah. We're gonna get to it. We're gonna get to it. Okay, so they inside of this house, and like I said, we see Kelson, which is the fire across wherever they were. You can see it across the land. You can see it, and he kind of, he lied to him about who it was and what was going on, which of course, when he was 15, he went to Kelson and it scared him and he ran back home. So I just said that because being 15, that shit don't change.
Betty ran fast. Betty ran faster than 12-year-old home. Our point will always stand. You try all you can, Mr. Gingerbread Man. It don't matter.
He do look like a gingerbread man.
But Jason, if you see somebody covered, it's like, so I don't know if he was covered in blood at that point in time, but if you see someone moving a bunch of bodies, it was iodine, but it looked like blood. And if you see someone moving a bunch of bodies and he waved to you kind of creepily, you not running? Or you gonna go ask questions?
He looked inviting. I don't know. I may talk to him. He was kind of inviting. I'm just saying.
Hey, Jazz, Jason's gonna be the first one to die in a horror.
Right. I wouldn't be. You see, he's talking. You see. I'm just saying. Spike went. He shot. So in that situation, he shot. He. If a nigga can put an alpha in a comatose, why are you still talking to him if that's the fact?
What you mean, Jason? Don't zip past the point. So you telling me you see a nigga that's moving bodies and you don't know who killed them, and you're gonna be like, oh, this is a nigga I'm gonna be friends with.
He seems like a good person to be cool with.
Look. Lie again.
Are you gonna try to be cool with Jimmy?
No.
I'll be cool with Jimmy before I could be cool with somebody that's
literally moving a whole dance routine.
I'm not being cool with none of them. I am thinking of my escape plan away from both. But then, Spike went towards the doctor. Now he just stumbled upon Jimmy. But when you got somebody in that whole outfit, you know, we gonna get on Jimmy, but
yeah, the outfit was interesting choice. Very interesting choice.
I was like, I Rimrick. Oh, okay.
It's
But
man,
just
I
to the
said something.
last
I said,
thing,
what? I thought he was supposed to be in this movie. Where the fuck
I
is he?
said
I'm
the
like,
same thing. I said, I've been watching this shit for a long time. Where is Rimrick?
I said, was he a zombie? No.
Nah. Because everybody said he was a part of a cult and he was crazy.
Mhm.
That's all I heard about his character. And I was just like, where are they at? And then the last 5 minutes.
It's two, but yeah.
Hold on. I gotta say this because Jason, this is to disprove you. I'm so sorry.
Oh my God.
You're saying the 12-year-old, right?
Oh yeah.
Sought out the crazy man covered in blood with 100 bodies laid down who burned the bodies. And he reeked of death in the valley. The 15-year-old ran from that. You know why? Because the 15-year-old has better discernment. Because it wasn't smart of him to go there. Nothing that boy used no discernment the entire movie. He was really just a boy.
It was definitely it was an emotional. I mean, the entire thing was an emotional thing for him. It was if there is a cure that can help my mama, I'm gonna go figure it out. Like, why isn't my dad doing it?
But to Sade's point, though, like also Spike knew what he was looking for. He knew the doctor. If Spike just at 12 years old sees that, he's probably gonna run away too. So like he had the benefit of knowing what he was looking for. And if Dad knew this guy was actually like not a bad guy, then that would have been different. He wouldn't.
But the dad did know it skipped. But the dad did know who he was, but everything around him was just like, hell no, red flags.
He knew who he was before, but he thought that he went insane. So he knew.
That's what I'm saying. But I'm saying it wasn't. If you knew who he was before, but I guess within that situation, there was never a thing of him. They were motivated by two different things. Spike was looking for him for himself, like for something. I think the dad just kind of happened to go up against him, like go up against it type of situation. It was completely different. Within that.
But that's the thing, though. If I know a nigga and then he starts killing people, or I think he starts killing people, I don't know that nigga anymore. So like saying that he knew him that's not exactly true. He knows him as this. But
listen now. In that, Spike heard of him as the same nigga, and he still went toward him because he didn't care. He cared more about his mama getting the help. So he risked his own life for that. So I don't want to hear what you're saying. Both of them niggas was dealing with the same.
Spike is dumb. What you mean? That was a bad decision. Sade is right. That is poor discernment. It just worked out for him.
Yeah,
it did. It worked. It did. The situation worked out, but he was willing to risk his life to make sure his mom was okay. That's what it really came back down to.
He was willing to risk his mama's life to make sure his mom was okay because he couldn't protect her. The man went out there with 25 arrows. 25 arrows, and then why do arrows they have the thing, and then the arrows are just sitting in there. They're not strapped down. They're not glued together. If you drop that, your ammunition is gone because you got a bag of loose arrows. Why did you do that? So you can't. Nothing about him. His decision was noble. Good try.
Also, he is supposed to be protecting his mom, but he fell asleep on guard duty, and she had to protect him.
Yeah.
The zombie eating your shoestring like noodles.
Tearing that shit up. Let me ask y'all this. Do you think if Spike would have spoke to his father, like, can we please go to that doctor and see if we can figure out what is wrong with mom? Do you think his dad would have been like, okay?
Yeah.
Because they're already going out to the mainland anyway for him to collect bodies.
I was about to say he liked killing zombies so much. Yeah, he get a hard on for killing zombies.
I feel like his... I think it was one of them situations where the dad was pretty much, some older people, once they have it set in their mind what a situation or what a circumstance is, they just like, nah, I'm avoiding that. I'm not doing that. Because remember he was talking to him when he was cooking, and he was like, okay, so when mama die, you gonna be with Shorty? And then he was
out of pocket for that. He was out of pocket for that.
No,
Spike was definitely out of pocket for that.
Was it not really?
Yeah, come on now. Don't disrespect your mama in her house to bring up my side hoe. Talk about this outside. Talk about this when we go to the mainland. Don't do this while I'm making her breakfast. Timing is everything. Spike was rooting that instance, and I mean that's why he got smacked.
If
You
you were
lied to bring up
16,
your
he
parent.
probably would have knew that. If he
Right, a
was
16-year-old Spike would have known. You don't bring up your side, your parents' side hole during breakfast.
See.
That is kind of crazy to bring up the side chick. That is kind of wild.
And your mama
My
is
mama,
upstairs.
because Spike don't know what's going. Spike doesn't know what's
Obviously not.
going on. So everybody lying to Spike. Mama ain't told him she's sick. She don't know what's going on, but she knows something going on. Daddy ain't saying nothing. Granddad ain't saying nothing. Man, fuck y'all. Somebody got to be the truth teller in this house. It's gonna be
Jason,
Spike.
Let's be real.
and that's where you start with the truth.
Spike is he? Would you say Spike is on the spectrum of just a little bit?
No.
Yeah, I don't think you're on the spectrum.
He's not. No. Why would he? Why?
He's just an awkward kid.
I'm just asking.
I don't think you're on the spectrum. I just think that he just is his just frontal lobe just isn't developed. Like he just making bad decisions, you know.
He is thinking about his mama. He was thinking about his mama more than anything else in it. Unfortunately. And he went out, he was like, shit, I've been out with my dad once, so now I feel like I can go out and do it again with her.
You flopped.
And then
you even said you flopped.
And you didn't have a good time at your
for saying you succeeded.
Exactly. You was over here mad at your own party because you like, oh, but he lied to them. He was hyping you up. He was trying to get you some hoes that night.
But that's not the point. It wasn't for him.
So
he felt like it was for him. He felt like his daddy was doing it for himself, not for him.
Nah. I didn't get that. I think
you did.
No, I think he was bigging him up.
His father was
bigging him up. He said you lying. He in the middle of the party. He said you lying.
He said he humbled. Don't listen to him.
Yeah, he was lying for Spike. It'd be different if the dad was lying on himself. He was lying for Spike.
But I'm
Spike
saying,
did catch bodies though.
Did he?
He caught one.
He caught one.
No, he got two. He killed the slow one, and then he killed the one that he took that Jimmy people that was hanging. So he caught two bodies.
Okay, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
And it's positive reinforcement, bro. He instilled that confidence in his son. Like, you did good, so now try harder. Because if they were like, how Spike did, he was like, little nigga did all right. Spike would be like, bro, I ain't going to no more.
It depends on it depends on the kid too, though. I feel like Spike would have been the one. Spike looks like the honest kid. He the one that would have been like, I mean, yeah, I was trying, because every time he said no. Like, even when he was fucking up, he said, no, you good. You did what you were supposed to do. I've seen people do way worse than you on their first trip out. It's okay. We gonna be all right. We gonna make it through XYZ. But I mean, shit, you know.
I mean, that positive reinforcements is important. Like, you out there, your dad ain't cussing you out. Like, he ain't like, damn, you fucked up. You the reason why we in this. He said, no, you kept shooting. And it's like, he wasn't a shitty father outside of, he's still in a shitty father. Like, he stumbled, but like, he was supporting his dad. Maybe he wasn't telling Spike jokes like his mom was, but I don't think his father was a shitty parent.
No, his dad was a good dad. Like, even, I mean, look, if there's ever a situation that you cheat on your spouse, I can understand this situation. If that's the worst thing that he does, he's not that bad of a dad. Because you're right. I feel like Spike needed that. He needed that confidence boost. And so I feel like he gave that to him. And also, they in a party. Like, they all hyping him up. Like, he can't kill the vibe to being like, oh, well, Spike kind of fucked up a little bit, but, it worked out. Like, they drinking. Like, okay, he did exaggerate. He did cap. But I feel like Spike, like, he made that bigger deal than what it was.
Yeah.
He 12, bro.
Exactly.
That's not why he should have. Hey man, look, that nigga at the end of the movie, he was back out there getting it in. We want to hear that.
By plot armor and luck.
Hey man, what the nigga? Hey man, was it? So do we consider the kids in 28 weeks later that was plot armor for them too?
Yes. Everybody got killed except for them. Absolutely, them motherfuckers should have died in that subway when their daddy came up and rolled.
But they was like, what's the call though?
What?
Remember? They was like, Ellie, they can't be infected. So
the brother, he was immune.
The sister never got bit, so we can't answer that question.
But the thing is, you can look at the eyes, because the son had the same eyes as his mother, so that's how you can kind of tell who was immune and who wasn't.
And just because you're immune, you can still. Someone had mentioned it. I think talking about I was listening to y'all episode, The Last of Us. Like, even if you immune, you can still get ripped apart. So like that's not like no.
Well, in this fit, they weren't doing it in the preview. They would buy they shit. Well, actually, in this one here, they bit the pastor and just let the nigga go on about his business. But now, if the alphas, however, them niggas ripping your head off your shoulders. They weren't doing all that. They were doing more than just biting. They was ripping niggas' heads off. So, but like you said, we see Spike. He went back out with his mama. He didn't have a really great go at it, you know, but he was on his mission, and they run into Eric at the gas station.
Fly armor, crazy thick. Like that scene was so crazy to me.
What you mean?
Right.
So
Everything.
the soldier shoots in there, everything blows up. They're not covered by anything.
They just beneath the gas.
Right.
No burns on your back.
Nothing.
Not a little scald. Nothing. You don't need to rub butter on nothing.
Nothing.
He just happened to be there. Which I'm not even mad about that, but then like they're saying, like they won't even coffee hard, it blow up.
Yeah.
Like, they fine.
That was throwing up.
They just had to duck.
That was throwing up.
She threw up a little bit.
She's sick though.
Yeah, she's sick.
Good.
She's sick.
Dude was like, what's wrong with her? He was like, shit, I don't know. Like, he was fine. He was fine. He was like, she just sick. She just sick. That's all. She always like that.
I do think Eric's character brought a very good comedic element, especially when he was like, so wait, she can walk? Like my theater laughed at that. He's like, so you got me carrying your mama who can walk?
Give her a piggyback ride for about 4 miles.
Right.
I got one comment. Like, yo, these soldiers suck.
Yes.
Like before that,
yes.
Like they forgetting that they got automatic weapons and they suck. Like, I mean, I like just stop and shoot them. Like they acting like they gotta like reload after every single one. But yeah, them soldiers.
This is see, y'all complain about plot armor when we know the movie has to keep moving forward. I complain about people doing stupid shit in the middle of a horror movie, like having an automatic weapon and y'all shooting all at one time. There's a thing of, if y'all are military, y'all should be trained enough to where while this person reloading, I am shooting at these zombies while they can reload. Whether it's 2, 3, 4, it was 8 of them. 8 of them on the island. At some point, 2 could have been shooting or 4 could have been shooting while 4 reload and looking for wherever else is going. It's just like, bro, come on. All y'all niggas get out here and just get caught like this. And then even if you in the dark, nigga, you run into an alpha in the dark, nigga, white, nigga, turn the flashlight, something.
That scene pissed me off because I'm like, okay, so all 3 y'all run in here. Nobody is looking behind y'all. Nobody is looking at y'all, just all facing the same direction. Because like you said, I would think you got somebody at least looking the opposite direction to make sure you're covered from behind. And so I was just like, oh, y'all really don't care. And then you had a soldier carrying another soldier who had a twisted ankle, would have been left. I'm not carrying nobody when we getting ran by zombies.
You're telling you human wrongs, bro. It's okay during the zombie apocalypse. I understand. Actually, leave me, bro. You're gonna die. You're gonna fucking die.
Sade, where were you at last week? Oh my God. They was trying
I'm not a selfish friend. Please,
kill you for what?
Both of us
kill you for what? No, wait. Kill you for what? Because you some of your context be lies. What did we kill? What did we kill you for? Please explain.
Y'all was trying to kill me because I said I would let Ellie die to get
okay. So boom, fuck that, Chris.
Oh,
you've seen the show,
yeah.
Chris. Are you? If you are Joel, what are you doing? In the finale of the season 1, are you saving Ellie or are you leaving Ellie to die?
For a cure.
So
a possible cure.
When I first saw it, we didn't know if it would cure them.
Do it based on you don't know the situation. Do it based on you do not know what's going to happen. You
can't.
No.
At the time, no, Joe should have let her die. But now that we know that it could have worked, he definitely should have let her die. Like, yes, it sucks. Like it sucks, but like you have an opportunity, like, and y'all talking about, oh, it's been 20 years, it's yada yada. What that mean? So we just gonna give up?
Thank you.
What that mean?
Thank you.
So it's been a long time. We just gotta accept it. Like, no, if you got a chance to actually make society better, like you gotta do that. So if you have a cure, granted, it might not fix the infected.
But like wrongs are okay. You can't be thinking about human rights during no damn apocalypse.
Thank you.
That's not, and mind you. Like mine, and like, I mean, okay, that's essentially like his stepdaughter, but then they ended up falling out anyways. So he did all that and it was a net negative. So no, he definitely should have let Ellie die. Like, yes, it sucked, but like, no, he made the wrong decision.
Did you watch Last of Us, Friday?
Oh, I
Ah,
played the
damn.
game, but I don't remember the plot.
You don't know the plot? You remember the end?
I don't remember the plot. It was a long time ago.
All right.
Sorry, my brain
So,
erases things, make storage for new things.
That's fine. That's fine. But basically, at the end of the story, it comes out that in order to create the cure for the infected, they have to kill the little girl that you've been with the entire story. They have to kill her because the whatever it is inside her head, and that's how they make the cure. He finds out, and he's just like, nah, I can't allow y'all to kill her. Like, we've been through X, Y, and Z. So he goes through and he saves her, and he kills everybody in the place. So now our conversation was, if you were him, would you have left her or would you have saved her?
And she's just a little girl I found, and we just been kicking it.
Pretty much.
She ain't my daughter or nothing. She's a little girl I found. We've been kicking. Honestly, that was God delivering her to me so I could deliver her to you. And we can save civilization. A blessing. I am God's passage. Like, what? I am the messenger. With the cure.
Oh, hold on. Am I mistaken? Wasn't his job to deliver her?
The job was to deliver, but he had her for a year before he delivered her. I don't know, man. After a year of raising her, and then she had just saved me. I'm not. Sorry.
It's tough. Don't get me wrong. It's tough. I understand where he's coming from, but it was a selfish decision. You gotta think about the greater good.
Mankind, the world, not just a village, the world, Craig.
It's already over. It's already over with. The world is already destined to be what it is. We 25 years in this bitch. Nah, it's over. It's over. It's over with. Society.
No, after 25 years, I'm especially off in her ass because we tried everything else at this point. We ain't even got other options. You know what I'm saying? If this year one, we can wait, y'all. Let's see if there's some other options. Year 25, we tried everything. Kill her. This is it. Finally, god damn! Like what?
She had the what in her? Oh,
she
hell yeah!
Especially did now. Thanks for that intel.
I mean, because I be curious. I'm only curious. Like, would it have reversed engineered the infected, or is it just for people? Is it just like once you get like the COVID, once you get it, you just can't get and you can't be infected after, kind of like Ellie. Once we give it to the people that's not infected, they just can't be afterwards. So that was interesting as well. But we're not on that show right now.
Oh yeah, we are not on that.
But Jazz, you talked about a pregnant a pregnant infected person.
All right, y'all. We've seen it. Well, if y'all have seen Dawn of the Dead,
Yep.
You had a pregnant woman in that was infected and gave birth.
Army of the Dead too, I feel like, right?
I haven't seen that.
That's a good movie.
Okay. So
Army of the Dead.
There's Den of Thieves, which is like it's a sequel, it's a prequel, but it's not really related. It's not about zombies, it's just in the same universe.
Okay. But y'all seen multiple, I guess, variations of a woman being pregnant during the zombie apocalypse and she being infected.
Yeah.
So in this, like when we first saw the infected pregnant woman, I was just like, okay, that's interesting. And then with them, like a bunch of them being in the water, I'm like, okay, so everybody's naked. They like fuck clothes. Okay, cool. And they over there, bathing or playing in the water. So we're actually just seeing them not out trying to eat and attack anybody. It's just them, and I guess in their new natural element. And you have a scene of her giving birth. All right, but was there any explanation as to why this baby was not infected?
The placenta is amazing. Shout out to women.
Yeah, that was
Jazz ain't going for that. Look at it.
Oh, Jazz, that's the least of my concerns. I got some gripes with this scene too.
Go ahead. As soon as I saw the pregnant lady, I was like, did she get bit pregnant like yesterday, or has she been pregnant for 28 years? When did she get pregnant? People aren't around. Where did she come from?
I'm assuming she was already pregnant and got infected. That's what what
would have to be.
So was she pregnant for 28 years, or she just got bitten?
Within 9 months, she's been bitten.
Yeah, I think she
gave birth, bro.
Yeah,
Right.
she got to go through. She got to go through her 9 months.
But okay, so like other things that we've seen where a pregnant woman gets infected and then has a baby, that gets to the baby. Like, so your baby was in there cooking for at least, let's say, 20
the blood.
Right. So
I personally feel like in this, she was probably bitten late. I feel like she was probably bitten late, and the baby was already fully developed. And at that
where did she
point,
come from then? She
where
had
she
the baby that day. That means she got bit 3 days ago. Or that baby
not
getting all the zombie juice from her body for 3
not
days, and it came out a human baby.
yeah. I mean, not necessarily. I wouldn't say it. It could have been within a month. It could have been within 2 months. But I feel like the baby was fully developed at the point of when it got. She would have. She would have been probably like 32 weeks or so when she had got bitten, or maybe she was 28 weeks.
She spent 8 weeks pregnant as a zombie.
Maybe she was 28 weeks pregnant.
But then, okay, so she has to feed. So I guess to feed this baby, because the baby came out looking pretty healthy. Like this baby wasn't no preemie or anything like that. Fully developed baby that was not crying as much. That was out here chilling, laughing.
During the zombie apocalypse.
I guess she had to have gotten like infected like pretty late in her pregnancy. That's the only thing that makes sense.
Yeah, she wasn't on crack. She wasn't on crack. You think something gonna be wrong with the baby?
She got to still.
Did you just compare crack to a zombie virus?
That's crazy. Yeah, that's crazy. I was just gonna zip by it, but that's crazy.
Oh, let's point that out. Put a highlighter on that.
Go ahead, Jazz. I'm sorry.
Are y'all buying that though? Like that? Like that just seems.
I think women's bodies are amazing. So yes, I'm buying it.
The baby gonna grow teeth and then bite somebody.
I was expecting the baby to get infected like later on, like it gets infected maybe afterwards. I was thinking that, but that was like that to me. That was the least egregious of this scene.
What you think of her holding the lady's hand?
Yeah, so she's infected, and then suddenly how is she gonna get like docile? We've never seen them at any moment be controlled. That's number one. Number two, this woman
the dad was kind of docile in some moments. In 28 weeks later.
28 weeks.
I haven't seen 28 weeks in a couple years, so I can't even.
He was kind of in some moments when he was with the kids. He was kind of chill.
He knew what he was doing.
So
he hated them kids.
He hated poking people's eyes out.
He hated his family.
I'm okay with that, but another thing is, so like this woman is like not really lucid. She's going through moments where she doesn't even know where she is. How does she suddenly know how to be a midwife?
So what I took from this scene, and this is my mature reaction to this. I feel like this scene was supposed to represent motherhood. So regardless of you are an infected mother, and I am a mother that of course is sick, because I feel like deep down she knew that she had cancer, or she knew something was wrong with her, but she saw a woman giving birth, giving life, and that just came to her, a natural instinct. That's how I took that scene, to where they were able to just be mothers in that moment. And I know that sounds crazy because you like, this bitch is gonna try to kill me after it, but I feel like that's what that scene was supposed to represent. Now
it doesn't, because if we go back, it also goes to Spike having a dream about his mother when she was drowning. Well, that was kind of like, him waking up, but listen, just follow me, bro. So then when he fell asleep and she was and she woke up to kill the zombie, I feel like all of that stuff just played to like the maternal instincts that she had. Because at some point, she typically is always asleep and knocked the fuck out, just like him. So her waking up like at the lick of time to then kill that zombie, and she, he was just like, what the hell happened? I feel like all of it just goes back into that, like the maternal instincts that she had, like some of those things. Like some stuff I feel like they should have explained, because like whenever they do them red scenes and like the whole military and in the songs, I'm like, bro, what the fuck is going on? Am I watching a Hitler film, or what is this?
Yo, I thought that scene was kind of fire though. Like with the World War II shit, I thought that was kind of like, it was kind of spooky, but that was like, for me, that's when the movie really started.
Yeah, it felt like the intro.
Yeah,
the dude speaking the word. Yeah, it.
I don't really know what it represents.
Yeah, me neither.
At all. Like, I have no idea. That's probably, I fuck with it.
Yeah, like even the string of words they were saying, I was like, is this broken English? Like, it was broken. It wasn't like coherent sentences. So I was like, yep, not about to try to interpret this. I'm just gonna
Yeah, no,
feel the word because you feel it.
you would have probably became infected. You started saying this shit out loud.
Evil Dead. Like, yo.
Hey, exactly.
Like, nah.
Don't have to be repeating shit
Nah,
you hearing in these movies. But yeah, nah, when they did that, I was like, man, I said they gotta kill her. They gotta kill her. No, she finna be just a regular zombie infected person again. You know, she done dropped this baby. And of course, she popped back up. And Eric, he just kind of went crazy with the gun. Like, bro, one shot would have been enough. He just held the trigger.
I think he just got shook and he just he wasn't even thinking because homegirl popped up kind of scary, like because she had got quiet. You like, okay, we cool, and she just popped up and you gotta offload. He had been killing zombies all day, Jason. One bullet didn't do nothing earlier in that day, so he was like, all right, I gotta put a hell of a lot of them in this zombie.
Y'all would have killed the baby?
That baby's out of here.
Yeah, probably.
That baby would not have made it back to town.
Probably, yeah.
Baby would not have made it out of the train. Like, why are we taking that? Why are we even taking that chance? It looks normal. It came out of a zombie's coochie, baby. Kill it. Sorry.
Yeah, the risk was too much. Yeah, that was, and also like having a baby, like, I mean, Spike can barely take care of himself, so you're gonna take care of your mom and a baby. That's just too much of a liability.
They cry.
Yeah. The stepfather that stepped up.
Zombies.
The stepfather that stepped up. Jason, what you doing? You taking the baby with you, or you go ahead and do a RIP?
You know, I feel like the alpha, you know, big Jason Momoa was looking for that baby, so I would have left it. I would have left it there.
Ooh. I thought that's his baby mama. That's his kid.
The way that he picked her body up, but then when he slammed her down, I said, "No, love don't live there no more."
I mean, shit, nothing lives there at all. Of course, you're gonna throw it back down.
Jason, don't just throw the body down like that. If that's a love of your life,
it's over with. It's over with. She done got shot up. Ain't nothing to do with that. And another thing I don't like is they do this scene often where one guy is upset with whatever is going on and he's walking backwards with the gun and he looks up and gets snatched. I hate that. I was like,
Samuel Jackson speech in Deep Blue Sea.
They did it in Romulus. They do it in Alien. A lot of the Alien movies where the guy, they just, you know, hey, bro.
Why are you screaming? There's zombies. Why are you? The way I would whisper, the way after 28 years, I would talk like this regularly. You'd never hear me talk loud. This nigga, I'm scared. Niggas was just talking, y'all. They just walking like, so how do you think? I'm like, why are y'all talking so loud?
They was talking loud.
Yeah,
I would be
just
whispering.
Talking too loud.
Yeah, they should have been hiding more. They were kind of like chilling out in the open.
Yeah.
And I know they kind of had to do that to have like a little bit of exposition, but nah, I would have been probably creeping the entire time or walking. Like, no breaks. We ain't chilling. We ain't yelling. Because at any point in time, like, they could just be like, they can just run up at you.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You know?
And
they weren't incognito enough at all. I was like, I don't think this is realistic. These folks ain't scared enough. Why are you talking in your outside voice? You need to blow your damn voice.
I mean, it could be because they used to it. Like after 28 years, they just like because even when Spike went out with his father for the first time, he said, "Dad, are you scared?" Nah, shit, I'm cool. I'll take the next two that come up after you kill yours.
He found joy in it though. That's kind of weird.
I think he was just saying that because like something about with kids is that like if you see your parent calm, you can calm down. But if my parent, even as an adult, if my parents start freaking out, I'm like, fuck, you know? So I think he probably was scared. Or like he probably wasn't like shaking in his boots, but he was probably nervous. But if he would have been like, I'm scared as hell, son, like Spike would have started freaking out, you know?
Oh, we
right, Dad, are you scared? Man, hell yeah.
But I do want to ask y'all, what did y'all think about Jason Momoa, the Alpha? Man,
I knew that was him.
Oh no, I don't think it was.
It's a black man actually.
But
you know
yeah, it looked like it on it.
Hey, shout out to the so because I know Jazz freak ass over here thinking these are all prosthetics.
I did see that.
Nobody was naked because Spike was in the film. Shout out to Spike.
That's why you can't have kids in your horror movies.
Shout out to Spike. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Keeping these niggas regular.
I know the Romulus baby looking like, damn. Why
It
I ain't
should
got
have
one of
been
them?
me.
Should
He
have been
sure had
me.
his thing out. I said, "Oh, he booty butt naked."
That thing was swinging, man.
Everybody was. I said, man,
That's swinging.
if
You
I
just
would have,
walking around like that?
if I would have, I would have. Hey, look.
This is assault.
Hey, look. I wonder if the infection give you some extra, because shit, that would have to kill me if they. Hey, nigga, don't got bitch, shoot me quick. Hey, don't have me out here naked.
I don't know.
Don't have me out here naked. Yeah.
Man, look.
How do they determine who the alphas? Like, are these niggas beating other zombies up? Like, how do they just get these niggas alpha?
I feel like you can kind of see which one's the alpha, which one's not. Because he said they were faster and smarter. So it's like the other ones listen to the alphas. And plus, I'm sorry, if I get infected and I'm like, oh, that big motherfucker with that big ass schlong, I'm going to follow him. You ain't got to do nothing. You ain't got to fight for me. Look, oh, yeah, that's the leader right there. Okay, I'm going to follow them.
That nigga can fight. Like, that is what you want.
That man is powerful. He is powerful. Mm-hmm.
They was organized, though. I bet they lived longer. The other one's just running into bullets. He was like, hold up, y'all. Don't go yet. Don't go yet. Right. Nah, y'all. Wait.
And then he's like, all right, now go get him.
Yeah, go.
What y'all think about, how they filmed it? Because, of course, this was filmed on iPhones. Of course, they put those different lenses on the front of them, but then you kind of see it when they shoot the zombies. It kind of sounds like a picture's being taken, and it kind of shows you a different angle of it. But how did y'all feel about how the film was shot or filmed? And he also did it in a wide screen to make it feel like they can come from anywhere on the screen at any point.
I was gonna ask y'all, since this was filmed, some of the shots in an iPhone, do you think an Android would have been able to give you the same type of quality?
Girl,
I don't know.
Oh, you don't know?
I don't know. I've never heard nobody shoot with an Android. I've never heard, but Android, it does look good on Android. But I don't know how it would translate to a film being made. But yes,
from what I've learned, Android images look blurry to iPhone users because they're too large. Mm-hmm. So it probably would look great on the Android because they are made to have a higher quality. The phones really just can't handle it. But we don't say that out loud.
I've heard Android. I've heard their quality is really good. So I guess like it probably would come out good if they did it. Mm-hmm. But yeah, the iPhone, to be honest, cinematography is something like unless it's like a really pretty shot, I don't really be paying attention to like the camera work, to be honest with you. That's like a blind spot to me. I'm more focused on like the story. So like it looked good, but I'd be lying if I said like I could notice differences from like any other movie.
Yeah. The cinematography in this, I definitely enjoyed it. I will say the shots when they shot the arrow through the infected, I did not like that. It felt like it was a video game to where like you saw the arrow go through them and then it immediately changed the angle. I did not like that. And I'm sure some people absolutely loved it. But for me, I was just like, oh, they did this a lot. It wasn't a good experience for me in the theater. But outside of that, I thought like the drone shots that they got, like the visuals of the surrounding everything, I thought it was beautiful.
Yeah. It was cool seeing how they did the overhead. You saw the earth group, the animals, the land. You just saw everything was flourishing. It really makes you wonder if Earth needs us, TBH. Because everything was flourishing. There was a lot of everything. And you got to see that. I like the zombie cuts. Like they got close-ups of a lot of the grossness of it all. Even us, like, oh shit, I lost my words. I'm sorry, I've been smoking weed. No, we're gonna go to something else. Go ahead. I lost my thought, y'all. Oh yeah, okay. They'll like talk about the zombies, and then you'll see them like in the trees, in the darkness, lurking. I like every scene where they did that because you walking in this wide field, and they showing us the field, and they showing us the piece of it all, and then they cut, and it's like the zombies in the dark though. They actually looking at you. You don't even know they following you and creeping. So it kept it eerie. It was like, oh, this is beautiful. Damn, the zombies in the trees. They're like, the zombies are right there. Yeah. They ain't let it get too sweet.
I I will say like the night shots, I think when they were showing them, I think in red, that is when I could tell it was maybe shot on a phone there. And not that it was necessarily a bad thing, but the camera work definitely looked a little bit different. And I don't know if it was supposed to emulate like night vision. I guess that's what it was doing.
The night vision.
Yeah. But I did like that shot, but that is one to where like I could tell. Do y'all know why they shot it on iPhones? Like, is there like
Is it cheaper?
Yeah, I don't like why would they do that?
That part that it was to give it the feel that the original film had, to make it give it like an old school feel to it.
The original was an independent film.
Yeah,
which is so interesting. Like it actually took off. That's good.
Yeah, because like some of the shots that they have, it kind of makes you feel like you're watching a found footage film. And so, which I'm not much of a fan of those, but I do like how they incorporate it in their films, because especially when you see the characters running and then the zombies running after them. And even when the zombies are in the field where you're getting a shot from behind, that shit is so scary. But like, that's what I think this trilogy. Well, it's about to be a franchise anyway, but like, I think that's what they do great when it comes to zombie movies. It's only 3 right now, Jason, but there are more
franchise.
to come.
I don't want to hear that shit.
Anyway, but I do love it because like the first film, like that shot where you had the soldier looking through the window in the rain and his eyes were just red. And 28 days later, that shit scared the hell out of me. Like these type of effects that used to scare me so bad. Over like Dawn of the Dead zombies.
Yeah, Dawn of the Dead, hold up now, they're scary too.
They are, but I would say the 28 days, like they just fucked you all the way up. Like just because. Like they weren't even trying to eat you. They just wanted to kill you and fuck you up and then go to the next person.
That's
like
World War Z zombies.
Oh yeah, them scary.
10-second change.
Yeah.
Terrifying. Just rabid.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that. I ain't even gonna lie. Man, just take me out the game, coach.
But we meet
World War Z.
Yeah, these some of the scariest zombies though, for real.
But we meet Kelson. We finally meet Kelson. We finally make it to where Kelson is, and we see he takes Eric's head, and of course I don't is he skinny? I don't know what he does. He
basically boils the skin off.
He boiled the skin off to add it to the totem that he has in there, because of course he wants to make sure he felt as if the infected and regular people they're all alike. Even no matter how much we try to separate the two, everybody is similar. But how did y'all feel about this scene and I guess the conclusion with Kelson? I'm gonna start with you, Chris. What did you think of this with Kelson?
I thought it was a nice change of pace. I will say that the movie did a good job with some misdirects, and I thought this was a good one. I thought he was going to be the cult leader. Even though I heard Jack O'Connell was supposed to be, when I hadn't seen him in the movie, I thought it was tripping. I was like, damn, maybe he's not in this movie. So I thought that what's his name again? The doctor?
Kelson.
I thought he was going to be the cult leader, but I thought it was cool that he ended up being like a good guy, and that him coming off as weird or coming off as like evil to the dad, Aaron Taylor Johnson's character, like was really just a misunderstanding. So I actually thought that was like good characterization and good storytelling, and it was just, I don't know, it was pretty refreshing. I thought that it did, like I was pretty invested into his character. And I think that it was like a nice misdirect. And I think that it gave like a nice conclusion to like Spike and his mother's arc, having him be a true doctor who was just doing some weird shit, but nothing really bad.
He was definitely giving Pigeon Lady come along too. What Jazz, what about you? What did you think of this scene? What did you think about the second half of the film? Because this is the second half.
Yeah, I wasn't a very big fan of Act 2 of this. And I'll say my first time watching it, I kind of nodded off.
Ooh.
Yeah, a little bit. Like in this scene, but on my rewatch, I was like, okay, I appreciated this particular area in the movie a lot more on my rewatch. But my first time watching, I'm like, y'all started with the volume at 10 and then you decreased it as it went on to see this mother-son relationship. But I also thought he was up to no good. I was like, okay, when is it going to turn? When he going to start doing some really sketchy shit? And when it didn't happen, I said, okay, now Spike has an ally that's out there, and hopefully we'll see him in the upcoming films. Because I feel like that would be kind of unfortunate just to present him here and not bring him back. But I'm sure they know what kind of story they want to tell. But I was like, y'all went all the way out there to tell, like, oh, so by the way, she got cancer. She's about to be gone. So let me go ahead and burn her skull. Go ahead and kill her. And then you can just put her at the top of the totem. Not take her back home and bury her to where you can go visit her grave, but just put her at the top of my totem. It's cool.
Yeah, that's a good point.
What about you, Sade? What did you feel about the end of the film?
I feel like they completely rushed that. You got cancer. Let's kill you right now. I don't know. I understand she was suffering and stuff, but girl, you couldn't spend another night with your son. You had to die right then, like right there. And then all she said was just know I love you. And then just died. I feel like she could have spent the night with her son. Spend one more night with him. Do something. But I liked the doctor. I did like the doctor. I like the scene. You know what? Now that I think about it, that baby didn't cry. The giant alpha found them, was stomping on that grate. That baby ain't cry at all. The baby gonna be a zombie. Cause why that baby slept through that?
Because the baby that knew that was the daddy.
Yeah,
oh, that's my dad. So
the baby could be deaf.
Yeah, and I think
that's true.
Okay, the vibrations. He was in it, and then
oh my God,
that's facts. That's facts.
Yeah, you felt it, and the poor doctor almost died, and I really think that's why in the zombie apocalypse, I don't know if I'd make friends. I would be a Michonne. I would be by myself, like because every time you bring somebody in, you die. That is what these movies show me. You help somebody, you're dead. Guess what? You're gonna die soon. So, but I liked him. He didn't die, luckily, but he almost died. And I was very distraught at that. I still don't understand why they kept a newborn baby. I feel like that man, that monster chased him for the baby. That's his baby, y'all. Because why else did he have to go to the island? And he was so mad. He was like, give me my baby. He wanted his baby.
I think you're right, because also when he picked up the pregnant woman, like that scene had to mean something. Like I feel like he picked her up and looked at her and recognized she was dead, and then like I don't feel like that was like just a throwaway scene. Like I don't know, it could be a misdirect, but I think that there was like some importance with that scene.
Yeah, they showed it. They panned the camera away from them to show us that for a reason. Now look at her like you care for a second. And him throwing her down could have just been his anger. You know, he's a zombie. His friends die. That's what happens to zombies. When we get around humans, some of them die. But yeah, I like the doctor. I love that he found the stuff that he rubs on his skin. I want him to offer something to them. I want him to be like, hey, put this on. You know, you got some bug spray. Your friends outside, you want some bug spray? You're not just gonna be the only nigga with bug spray on. But he didn't offer them none of his zombie goo. And I
he said it's time for you to go.
You tell him he very nicely kicked them out.
Yeah, time for you to go home, my guy. That damn baby. It's the baby. He knows it's the baby too.
Yeah.
For Jazz, you said something I wanted to touch on, but I feel like these films at the core are family films.
Yeah.
Would y'all agree?
Yep.
Every one of these films have been a family film, because even in the first one, he was more so, he was sad. Well, his whole thing, his determination was to get home to go make sure his mom and dad were okay. And of course they were gone. The second film, of course, is about, the family, him leaving. Unfortunately, he left his wife, but his whole thing was he was thinking about his kids. He got to think about more than, but she was doing the most, because that little boy, he would have got left. That little nigga that just came into the door would have got left. But
honestly, you banging on my door, going on somewhere, because that means something chasing you. Don't bring that to my door.
And that's where it came. And that's where it came from, because of him. Him coming in there, that's where everything came from.
Wait, would y'all have let that little boy in?
No.
Nope.
We've been
alive 28 weeks.
But because of him, but because of whatever he had going on at that point, that's when we should have been trying to leave, because they were like, where you even come from? It was chasing me. It was lots of them. It's time to go. It's time to go.
But yeah. I was about to say, I don't think they were like people who were travelers. I think they just holed up. So maybe they just don't know the logistics of that because they locked them. They were boarded in that house.
Boarded up. Boarded and shorty tried to, but again, I do think these are family films. So, like I said, you have the the relationship between Spike and Dad. That's the first part of the movie, which gave him confidence enough to try to go back out and get the help his mom needed. Now it was a hell of a misdirect because it came back to her having cancer, and it was the whole thing of you went all this way, but unfortunately we got to put her down because her trying to make it back with you is not going to happen. You're not going to be able to care for her. You're not going to be able to care for her and try to get her back. So we got to go ahead and do it. And once I started realizing, I'm like, damn, he would have to put her down. I'm like, that's a tough one. That was a tough one. So yeah, that was a tough one for me. Seeing old Spike have to, put his mom in, and because in these films they play with the music a lot, so the music was crescendoing, and he was like, "Oh my God!" Everything was just the music was flowing. Then he put he put her skull at the top. He put it towards the sunset.
Did you cry?
I did for sure, 100%. I 100% cried both times.
Yeah,
even the second time I watched it, I did 100%, 100%. Because it was more of a
weird. Everything was just weird to me. Everything was just weird to me. That's weird. He kissed the skull. I was like, that's weird. You should have seen when she was still alive. Like, y'all didn't even hug each other. It's weird.
Actually, they were hugging. But unfortunately, when he was hugging, that's what he shot him with that stuff that made him docile. So he that's what did. And then, she had to go, and it was like, man, she having a, But then he wrote the letter to his dad where he was like, I'm fit to figure this out for myself. And left the nigga with a baby. And then it was high tide, so he couldn't even get out there. He couldn't swim across the ocean to go figure out. So Spike did out. So secondly, now we talking about they ain't gonna breach, they good, they didn't even see Spike come across their thing to bring the baby. So them niggas ain't that good over there inside their thing. Talking about
that bridge long as hell. They definitely should have saw him. They wasn't paying attention now. Oh no, it was high tide, so they didn't feel the need. Boom.
No, he came and went back with a baby. At some point, they should have seen him coming or going. Like, that nigga, like they didn't see either situation until that baby started crying, as y'all say.
It's kind of wild that Spike didn't say, "Hey, there's a baby out here," because we don't know how long that baby was sitting out there. Think about
they got somebody to think at all times though.
But he had to go all the way on the other side. And do you think he ran? No, because what's his rush? He dropped the baby off and then went all the way back to the mainlands, and you just let that baby there. Let's just say, for example, it started raining during that time, or the fact that an hour and a half went by. We didn't see you feed that. Oh, okay.
That's God's plan. That's God's plan. I'm just saying it's God's plan at that point. The baby had been drinking the water a little bit, you know what I'm saying? But the baby had to get some milk in him. He couldn't eat no food yet. But it was God's plan.
Somebody. He gonna try to go back home, and it's like, all right, so Spike, that baby you left, killed half the town.
Had to put it down. Had to put it down.
What was like? I know he said he wanted to figure things out. What exactly is he trying to figure out?
Himself. So for me, it looked as if every issue y'all had with him was him staying out there to figure those issues out. So him to be able to fend for himself, him to be able to take care of himself. He don't have his mama to go back to at home. He beefing with his dad because the last situation he had, that dad slapped him. He pulled a knife on him. So what am I going back home for? My mama ain't there. My dad don't fuck with my dad. So what's my point? I don't really fuck with the town. You seen it at the party. What am I going back home for?
You know how dramatic that is, getting in one fight with your daddy and then wanting to live off of the land and skirmish during the zombie apocalypse? Please.
He's 12. He's 12. I'm just saying. Niggas do worse. You see
what were him and the dad fussing over?
Because his dad cheated on his mom.
Sir, please. And now you killed your mama. We even.
Now, the real issue, though, it wasn't just like him cheating on the mom. He felt like dad wasn't doing enough to save mom. Like, that's really why he left.
Yeah, there was. And you see why I wasn't. Because the mama knew she had cancer. We knew. We just
they didn't. Okay, so that goes to family secrets. Why didn't they tell him before they left?
Well, mom.
I trust me before I trust y'all. So I'm gonna handle what I gotta handle. I'm gonna handle things the way I feel like I need to handle them.
I mean, but
Jace,
you're not thinking that like, hey, if I don't tell my son that I'm dying from cancer, he's gonna leave and go live on the land.
You don't think that, but at some point the conversation should have had like, Mom probably not gonna be here too much longer, bro. At some point, and she even said, you know what, I should have been told you. I had the thought, but I couldn't do it. Your dad couldn't do it. My dad couldn't do it. So I mean,
hold on. So this is where I got a little bit issues with the film. We don't know. They don't even know what she has, so they don't know she's dying. And just like Sade say, like, yo, we don't know. Like, they didn't necessarily have to kill her right then and there. She made it all the way out there. How do they know that she can't make it back? Like, yes, it's risky, but you got out there. Like, how do we know? They didn't even try. They didn't necessarily have to kill her right then and there. We know eventually she's gonna die, but we don't know that she's gonna die like the next day. Like, she could have went back there and like, lived out her days. She didn't necessarily have to be there. And kind of with Jazz's point, this is kind of when the movie lost me a little bit because some of this shit not making sense.
I guess they should have been more on the nose with it, but I feel like she was ready to go. I feel like she felt like she was I feel like she felt as if she was a hindrance to their family, to the husband, to the son. She was going to be holding him back on the way back. Because the whole thing, remember, Spike didn't get her there. That nigga Eric was carrying her. And they just happened to, once they got off the train, they was there at that point.
Yeah.
So what was Spike going to be able to do?
So Jason, I see what you're saying, especially in that moment when a zombie apocalypse pop off. And just like Sade, you said earlier, and Chris, you don't know when you're going to die. So you were just trying to enjoy the life that you have in that moment because you might die tonight, you might die tomorrow. So in that moment, she may have felt, I am ready to go. I want to tell him that I love him and die peacefully instead of being eaten by infected or risking my son trying to save my life and we both get killed. So she kind of had to make a very tough decision in that moment, even though definitely it's hard. You don't want to put your child through that, but she was just like, you know that I love you. You know what's going to happen. So instead of me being a burden to you to get home, I'm at peace with dying in this moment.
Did she hate her husband?
And I think about this. We think about what's the other movie that they had cancer in it? Black lady. You
talking about
Lupita.
You talking about Cloverfield?
Oh, A Quiet Place.
I didn't watch it. Quiet Place. Lupita had cancer, and she sacrificed herself in order for the white boy to make it across, and she just killed herself at the end. Like it was, to me, we keep on talking about sacrifices for the greater good or whatever it may be. What are we going when she get her to the house? She already was in pain. That's all she kept on talking about, the pain that she was in. She XYZ, and people, they go through those things. A lot of times they're just like, you know what? I'm just ready to go. And if you can make it simple for me and make it easier for me, hey, do that.
Yeah, she did get the witch doctor to knock her out.
And plus, Spike burned the daggone tit down, so it wasn't nothing at the town that could put her to sleep for real. He didn't take any kind of pain.
Maybe he took the stuff out of the tent.
He didn't.
He didn't.
They didn't show.
There wasn't stuff outside of the tent.
I think you're giving him too much credit when we see so many decisions he makes.
We didn't see it. That's all I said. We assuming a whole bunch based
on. We saw a lot of mistakes and terrible decisions that he made to where I'm like, I don't got enough confidence in you for real.
I've seen worse movements in horror movies. He's not the worst of them.
Shit, you have.
He's not the worst, but he's on the list.
He's up there.
I don't know. He might be the worst because he's the most unprepared. Usually it's like a grown up making a dumb decision, so they're at least strong and fast. Like it's just a kid just doing kid. He's a rugrat sneaking out of the cage, but he going to a gun range. He ain't going on no adventure. Like you have no business there. Go back in your damn cage.
He was trying to take care of his mama, man. You don't want your, what are you supposed to do? My dad.
Make your mama some damn soup.
Jason was like, yo,
soup wasn't enough. We done made some egg. The egg, she ain't eating the egg. He gave her some of the bacon, some of the ham that they got cooked. He gave it to her. She just left it on the sock. She ain't take. I'm just saying, he was doing the best he could with what he
know what, Jason, I would be with you, Jason, if he went out there by himself and was like, hey, Mr. Doctor, can you come check on my mom? But to bring a sick lady who is bedridden to a place that he is sucking at, and he gonna bring a bedridden lady like miles away. That's crazy. That is
On a hunch.
that is
On a legend. Because we don't know that he's still there. We don't know that that's him.
Now,
you don't know. You just heard
know,
somebody just told you some gossip.
You know he's there. Now, is he crazy or not? Now, that's the gossip part. We know he's there. Now, is he crazy or not? That's the gossip. We know he's there because he burning.
He just saw a fire. He just saw a fire. Anybody can set a fire.
That's true.
I was like, did the zombies discover fire?
Like, that could be any person. So, I mean, listen, we because we looking at that from the scope that we know is there. But just imagine if someday somebody tell you that, 20 years ago, I saw this dude who was setting a fire, and you see a fire again, and you just be like, that has to be him. Not necessarily.
Yeah.
We just know because we see in the movie.
It's not just because of the fire, but he was saying, where is the fire at? What's the location? And then he's like, oh shit, that's Kelson's old spot. I thought he was dead. He's still over there doing it, huh?
But it could have been some of Jimmy's people too. So he kind of put himself at risk and his mom.
Oh no. He it was definitely a risk to leave with your mom to try to do what you were about to do anyway. Yeah, for sure. 100%. 100%. We run into Jimmy. We get Jimmy. So this ending, the Power Ranger Teletubby of it all, there was a a lot of people say it's the people don't get the UK quirkiness, but what did you think of this ending, Sade?
I call them the Power Rangers. I think it was fun to see people do parkour off of mountains and fight zombies. I was like, at least y'all cold with it, you know what I'm saying? They were silly, but in my mind, it's like, well, he was a child on his own, so for all I know, he linked up with some other 8th graders and they just stopped developing. So that's why they so dumb, and they just made it like the kids next door. So that's what I thought. I appreciated it. I always appreciate a horror movie that has a little comedy at the end. Like Cabin Fever, he like, that's for the niggas. Like they're like, what that gunfight? Like, that's for the niggas. And then you like, what's up, my niggas? Like, it was funny after a very heavy, scary movie. And so I appreciated the little humor. It was silly. They were dressed horrendously, but it's the zombie apocalypse. Do what you want, You're fashion. Everybody else naked.
Yeah, for the most part. Jazz, what about you?
This scene threw me for a loop because I was just like, what the hell am I watching? At first, I was like, finally seeing who this is. Because I've been, like I said earlier, I was looking for him through the whole movie. And I was like, they having a good ass time. Like they was getting in on the infected.
They loved it.
Right. But so the thing is that you didn't really see too much. Like in the previous films, you saw a lot of the blood splatter and it affecting people and people getting sick.
Mm-hmm.
Blood splatter happened in this. Ain't nobody get sick. Ain't nobody get infected. It was like, I almost got you, but not really. When the dad in the first one, he just looked up and that blood went
it dipped in his eye.
But like Jimmy whole crew out here like having a good ass time using blades, cutting them up. Ain't no blood getting nobody face. Like they don't have any kind of mask or anything on. So I was just like,
but to be fair, they weren't. It wasn't as if they were out there like it. So the way they were doing
everywhere, Jason.
But they weren't. They weren't in the line of it. The only person in this movie that was the mama. Now the mama, I was like, damn, maybe she gonna, because the son hate this thing. Like, wait, mom, wait, let me wipe that off you. Let me get that off you before you do anything. But there wasn't nobody else was sitting there where blood splattered on them.
Watch that last scene again.
And their
mouth was open, like they over here having a bomb ass time.
They were laughing.
They was they had been doing they've done it enough. I recorded it though. I've seen it. I know what it looked like.
It just seemed like a risk in my opinion. But
it wasn't. Living in this fucking world is a risk. What are you talking about?
But doing like cutting them up, like it just that seemed more of a risk than what we saw Spike and his father doing earlier. Like you shooting them with arrows from a distance is not as high risk as you up close to them using a blade. That's like anytime somebody is like, if you, Jason, all right.
Michonne was walking around with two slave zombies.
But that's a different universe with different rules.
I agree. I'm just saying.
And they blood
nigga, that blood in what's it called?
Yeah. Yeah, they didn't really bleed in The Walking Dead, and she was just cutting their heads off. These boys was and guys and girls, but they all Jimmy. They were playing around, and blood splatters. So like, they should have gotten infected for real.
No, I feel like I would wear a COVID, man. Like you need a mask over your mouth. You need goggles. After the first one, the eyeball thing happened.
Yeah.
Full shield. Yes.
Before that, you don't really see too much of the people getting infected like that outside the dad in the second one. You don't really see people getting infected by the blood that much outside them two people. You don't see that too much outside. Like I think somebody maybe got thrown up on, but outside of that, you don't see that too much. It's people getting bit, not the blood splatter. Even though I think they should probably do it with the blood splatter more. That's not one that people get infected by.
It increases this. It increases the fear element to where it's like, okay.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was just to where it's just like, okay, even though they might not bite you, their blood can still get in your system. Like if you have an open cut and they blood get on you, boom, you done. You saw that in the first one too. So the first one used that a lot, but I don't think it was used that much in this movie.
It's like they only used it twice in the first one though. The guy with the blood filling the guy,
and then the cut.
Guy, when she killed the guy real quick, inside the place, but they don't see a lot.
But also though, if they do that, the stakes might be too high. Because one thing that makes 28 Days Later is that they kind of fuck. They really can't do anything just because like they too fast, they get infected too easily. So it's like the stakes are so high that it's like you really can't fight back. So they kind of had to move away for it to allow for action because I could shoot somebody and like the blood could splatter on me. Like it would just be too hard. So like I can kind of see why they had to do that. But that's also kind of why I like the first one, just because like really we all probably be dead in that one. They fast, they can infect you so easily. So I think to have like a movie and a plot, they kind of had to move away from that for real because they wouldn't have been able to have this scene, with the Jimmies. Which this scene was campy as hell. Like it kind of like. At first, I'm like, yo, what the fuck is going on? But then once like the main Jimmy started talking, I'm like, okay, like he gonna be like, this is a tone switch, but is he kind of like giving like Joker energy? And that's when I was like, okay, I kind of fuck with it because like they just being like over the top and ridiculous, but they really probably like evil and like a cult. So,
Jazz, did you research Jimmy character?
Or no, I didn't get a chance to.
Chris, you said you did.
I did, y'all. Okay, we here.
So yeah, the tone is dark. So I had to go talk to some of my UK friends. I had to go talk to some of them to.
Did you have to talk to them over beans?
I don't eat beans.
Toast.
I don't eat beans.
Rice cakes.
So when I was speaking with them, so Jimmy character is based on a guy named Jimmy Savile, a radio host that was in the UK. He died like in 2011. He is alleged to have over 500 cases of rape, right?
Jesus Christ.
I think his youngest like 75.
500.
Yeah, so for only children and elderly people. And this is the character that Remick is playing. So this situation of people learning and meeting friends and XYZ. So while it does end on this happy, cheerful XYZ note, but now Spike is with a child rapist.
Oh no! I thought I liked the Power Rangers. They're pedophile.
Yeah, nah. So also, like, just like to put it like in a real life scope, like in the movie is wild, but in real life, this would be like not even trying to be funny. This would be like a group of people dressing like R. Kelly, like. So like them doing that as a scene, it kind of made me wonder why they did that. But like, I'm kind of surprised that people ain't really having like too many issue with it because like, yeah, he has like some wild cases. So just imagine somebody like if R. Kelly had an outfit and then a bunch of like black people.
So that's just his look.
Yeah, that's his.
Yeah, so that's how he look. Velour suit, jewelry, the blonde hair. Yeah, that's how he looks. That's how he looked.
Said that was a choice. I was like, blonde hair was a choice. I don't know why they did that. Okay.
So let me ask this: while y'all was doing your research on this character, they say why they wanted to base his character off of that individual.
That's a great
now the why there was I didn't look up the why. I just looked up the who.
Maybe foreshadowing.
Which is, I feel like it's just going to more so give Spike something else to kind of deal with, another battle that unfortunately he had to deal with. So I don't know. And the movie comes out in 6 months. So hopefully it's not, you don't have to pass too much time 7. Okay, 7 months. You don't have to have too much time pass as well, so he won't. It's ain't. We don't have to deal with no Stranger Thing. The next movie.
Oh,
Yeah, it comes
Yeah,
out in
oh,
January, I think.
in
February, January.
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 Yeah.
So we don't have to deal with another. We don't have to deal with the Stranger Things where he grows up too fast. It's already in production, so we don't have to wait too long for that.
They
damn.
So
filmed it the same time they did this. So it's
that's what
kind
I'm
of like
saying. Oh,
what
okay,
Wicked
okay.
did.
Okay, got you. So they just back to back with it. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, so we don't have to wait too long for that to actually come out. But yeah, they didn't really say in it, but of course, for the American person, we looked at it like, oh man, this is fucking silly as shit. Because everybody was like, man, what the fuck is this? Like, what kind of ending is this? The people in UK like, oh my god, they really went there type shit. Like y'all really taking this like to a dark. This is dark. Like how like y'all don't even understand how dark this film has really gotten. So yeah, and I was just talking to people about, who the person was, but like I said, he never got acquitted, but then he was just like a radio host. So he was like, like Tom, we just the most popular where they are. And then he was going to all these different like what was it, like fundraisers and different access to different hospitals and things like that, and just, just having his way with them people. And there was nobody ever said, nothing.
hospitals.
Yeah. He was going into the like what's like old folks homes and hospital, like things
Okay.
like that. Like he was, yeah,
Yeah, shit
yeah.
kind of dark. Yeah, I was shocked. But yeah, it's I wonder why they doing that. I mean, I guess it's a cult, so they gonna make them kind of wild. But like, just like in real life, like that's just kind of a wild decision to make, you know. So
And I
yeah,
get, but to me, I would have to think it's because that's where they from, and it's like, but how dark can we get with this? Because it's only because when you start looking at this, you start with and one thing you look at these movies, you think about all the different films and things that came after and what it has set, like what it set forth for a lot of different things. So it's like, shit, what can we do that hasn't been done or what. So then you start thinking about, you got every film has somebody that's eating
mm,
people at some point. They're like, oh, we ain't got no more food. We got to eat the people now. You got the people that's just out there just killing just to be killing. You got the people that's creating a community. So it's just like shit. It's just another element of
mm,
what would people do if the world ended
mm,
and you just because it's because in my mind, at some point, I feel like maybe they're gonna leave this. Somebody gonna leave this island and come back to the mainland. They probably get shot on sight, or I don't know what some may happen in that because it's not happening on mainland because it's just over here. It's just regular. We just living regular life again. Ain't none of those zombie apocalypse. It ain't none of that shit. It's just in these isolated areas where you um, dealing with stuff like this. So. Mhm. It's like wasn't like Eric. He said they was doing like a. He said what they went plane fell out the sky or something like that.
they was in the
Their
Navy, I think he said. In
their
the
their ship
The
I
ship.
something happened with the ship and
yeah,
they were
yeah.
able to get like a lifeboat or something. They didn't want to go to the beach, but they didn't have a choice.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
So shit kind of dark. Yeah, that ending was kind of dark, but I mean, I kind of feel what you're saying, Jason, that we've seen things before, and he also was like inverted the cross. So I'm guessing that's going to like play a part too.
Exactly. He took his
Was
dad. He took
inverted.
his dad chain and he
Oh,
flipped it upside down.
Yeah, yeah. So I guess that with the Jimmy Seville, I think you didn't pronounce his name,
I
Savile
I
Seville.
I think I'm not sure too. I didn't care enough about that man to
Yeah,
look that up.
yeah.
his
So
last line, as a kid before he runs and we don't see him to the end is, "Why have you forsaken me?"
Yeah.
So
God,
he
why have you?
probably looks
Yeah.
at himself as just someone who's irredeemable, and he's probably the biggest piece of shit because of that. We'll see.
He said that he said this is the darkest role he's ever taken. So it's probably gonna get real sadistic in the next film.
it seems like it. So I'm curious to see like how that goes. To be honest, I think that could probably have potential to be better than this. Just to see like a cult with like the zombie. It's kind of like The Last of Us. Starting a cult. So we'll see.
Yeah. Does this film have you guys excited for the second one? Or excuse me, I guess it would be
For
the second one in this. Yeah,
Yeah.
for.
In this trilogy. But I really
Yeah.
for me
What is this one
personally,
called? 28 years and 28 days. What is it called?
it's called 28 years later, the Bone Temple.
Oh,
The Bone Temple or Blood Temple or something like
why
that.
didn't we talk about this man's bone tower? Why didn't we talk about that? Well, we did, but he not only had the skulls, y'all. The man had the femurs and the legs and everything, and built statues with them. I don't know. I guess he gave us like purpose though. We don't gotta go back to that. Don't worry about it. That's what that
He he said, "I'm gonna put these bones to use." And he had been waiting 13 or 15 years for somebody to ask him, "What is all of this for?" So maybe Spike's father should have went down and said hello and was able to ask him, "So what's all this shit?" Or no, he probably didn't even have it up yet. All those bodies turned into those statues.
Yeah, he's a busy bee.
Yeah.
But I am excited for the new one. I like zombie movies, and I think I was just young when this came out. I think I was just young because when did the first one come out?
2002.
Yeah.
I wasn't that young. Never mind. I wasn't that young. I was like 11. I was 11. So yeah, I used to be real scary as a kid, y'all. I got nightmares real bad. But as a grown up, I found a love for zombie movies. So I'm happy I reviewed these, and I am excited for the next one. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I am too. I would say the way it ended, like I think it opened the door for a sequel, so I'm definitely looking forward to it.
Cause where's the alpha? Why did they never cut his head off? He's asleep.
He's still alive.
Yeah, I don't know why he just let him
too.
survive.
I don't think that's it's probably not him, and he didn't have to worry about it because it wasn't coming to his land anyway. Where he stays, they'll never come to where he is.
He don't leave no shit like that alive.
But I don't want no, because he said like, "Oh, I've been seeing him running around for 3 weeks."
This one's named Charlie.
Years.
I'm not too long, Jason, to be just like, "Oh, he just cool." Like
he's not coming to his territory. What did he care?
Nah, you got to kill that. Nah.
No, my nigga, this is not a neighbor. This is a fucking zombie that could kill you. I'm sorry, I'm not.
But this is somebody. Like, but this is somebody who said he thinks of everybody the same. He said that. That was the whole point of him.
And that's fine. But my thing is, are you gonna let somebody who could possibly kill you roam free outside of your property?
Is he supposed to? So when you ask that means he's supposed to kill everything that comes around there. He's not doing that. That's not his.
Zombie apocalypse. Why are you being such a humanitarian today?
I'm not. No, I am speaking for him. He just that's not what he does.
That was the fact. Like he just not gonna kill anybody, but that's kind of wild.
Do you want to survive?
You are surrounded by skulls, but you like, oh, I'm against death. All lives matter, regardless if you.
He didn't kill them people that was already dead. He just burnt them up.
That kind of makes it weird.
He's giving them a memorial.
But Morgan in The Walking Dead did that too. That's why he had the like the bamboo stick. He wouldn't kill
Morgan was going crazy though. When they first met Morgan, he was like, "What was he saying? He was saying the word over and over and over again. He was going insane."
I mean, listen, I think it's insane to let these people live, but I guess he just like really sees the value. I think he still thinks they have a soul. I don't agree, but I feel what Jason is saying, that he just doesn't want to kill them, which I think is ridiculous.
He don't want to live. It's okay. He just tired of living.
I'm just saying. I said cut the nigga head off once he went to sleep. Like, I don't hear get him out of here.
Why are y'all not cutting him up?
But I mean, I guess with them, it's like shit. What do they have?
Yeah, they don't have the weapons too. Like all he has is the arrows.
Stab his ass with 4 of them. And gonna walk and then go back and kill him. I was like, why did he not put another one in? Like when they stuck that one in his arm, I was like, put 3 more in. Like, what? But yeah, to let him live is just a hazard to us all. They organize when they have alpha. Alpha makes zombies smart, bro. No, you can't know smart zombies.
Yeah.
Well, they weren't smart enough. They weren't smart enough to get to where he stayed at, so he didn't give a damn. They can't get to him.
So they got to him.
They never crossed over into his land. He was onto another place trying to get him walk him back. But no.
So where they were hiding, where he was about to
in the bone graveyard,
but Spike had to save him with his own medicine.
Mm-hmm.
Whose area was that? Was that not his? Was that not the doctor's?
That wasn't past. Remember now, wherever they roam, they can't cross the water. So no, that wasn't his area. That's just whatever. That's him going back. Remember, they can't go across the water. That was the whole point of Now that was loosely explained. Hey, they can't go across this thing right here. So that's why I have it set up this way.
I remember that, but I can understand the fast ones or the slow ones, but the alphas is like MVPs out here.
The rules don't exist for them.
We see them run.
He was traveling like 7 hours.
But you can't walk. But you can't just walk across it though. You have to do like something else to keep.
Alphas have been running this entire movie. I'm not letting no track star zombie survive outside of my house. That is crazy to me.
That's insane.
Like I'm cutting his head off with one of them fucking bones that I have because I don't want him to be like, oh well, I know somebody's over here now.
Let me keep an eye out.
Like what? No. He wild. Jason been trying to save every character in this movie.
Who have I saved?
I said
trying to care about Spike.
Yeah, Spike.
I do care about Spike.
He's the antagonist. He is the antagonist.
You don't have a movie without Spike.
Spike is the villain. Well,
I'm not going that far now. Yeah, he had good intentions, just bad execution. We can go there.
He's not the villain, he's the problem.
His dad is his mom. Actually, it depends on the problem. They should have told him.
No.
They should have told the truth. Tell the truth. They should have told the truth, and that would have prevented him from doing all that. Hey, son, look.
That's being you can't expect him to read the future like that. You're not
what
thinking.
You mean? No. But I'm saying if you okay, so when you start to hold secrets and it comes out or doesn't come out, motherfuckers gonna handle things the way they feel like they can handle. This nigga never thought about anything at any point. He thought it was just we just have to be here and that's it. His granddad said, "Oh, what you seen the file? Oh, that was a doctor. You know, he a doctor. He can help.
He was my doctor.
He was." That was my daughter 15 years ago. He used to help me with different shit. He was like, oh, what kind of, like he can it's a possibility. He presented that back to his dad. And his dad was like, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, he go back to him like for help. His dad was just like, he didn't say, yeah, he was just like, nah, fuck that. We ain't doing that. Nigga, it's crazy. We ain't going over there. He was like, bro.
He is crazy though, but like, look, Jason, if you see somebody moving bodies, like, what else are you supposed to think?
I'm not
in perfect roles.
I'm not defending anyone here. I'm not defending anyone. I'm just saying where Spike coming from in that situation. My mom is sick. I don't know if she gonna die. I see you roaming around with the teacher whore, and my granddaddy is sitting in here. Can somebody help me? Tell me what's going on. And then I'm talking to y'all, trying to get this company, get what I need, and nobody's answering what I'm answering me.
But Jason,
go ahead.
First off, why she got to be a whore? Second, the grandfather said, "This is something your father needs to tell you," because, like you said in previous episode, don't talk to my kid. Let them talk to me. So that was the father's.
Whoa, time out. Do not use my words against me. Now,
how am I using them against you? Because it's like instead of your grandfather giving the child the information, it's just like you need to go to your.
That's different.
Okay.
So that's like if Sade was to tell my kid something or me saying something to her kid, if she got mad at me for that or whatever ramification it would, because that's not my place to go and speak to her kid about anything dealing with that's completely different. Now, a grandparent that's in the house with the fucking kid, they can say whatever they want to. I can feel a way about it, but I don't feel the same in that situation. It's different when it's somebody that's not in my household telling my kid something. It's completely different if you're in the same household and we're talking to my kid about what's going on. If the kid came to me. Now he said, in that situation, he said, hey, you need to talk to that's something you might want to talk to your dad about. I got that, but it's not, if he would have told him, it wouldn't have been no, that's him telling him, hey, he came to me about something. I spoke to him about it. I told him what the truth was. He didn't say nothing. He didn't tell him about the mama.
Mm-hmm.
He told him about what he said. He told him about what he's saying and what typically goes on in the area that he was talking about. I think that's fair. I think that's fair. Personally.
He also discouraged them. He didn't encourage it. He said he was my PCP, but he's going to look crazy. Like, He wasn't like, nah, he cool folks. I don't know what your daddy talking about. He ain't say that. So that's also something. Elvin Jimmy was like, no, he was my doctor. He cool as hell. You can pull up on him. He didn't do that.
Yeah,
what was the yellow brick road? Go ahead, boy.
I feel like, but like even Jason, like if you like, I'm not gonna assume that like again that like if I don't tell them that hey I might be dying, and the mom says she hinted at it, but she ain't know for sure. So like you think that the mom should have been like, hey, I'm dying, so that your son doesn't go and find a doctor across the country. Like that's just like that's hindsight is 2020. You're not thinking
no. So you don't. I mean, you don't know a person is doing anything, but at the same exact time, him having the information and them having that type of conversation, hey, because they didn't know what it was. Nobody knew what it was, and it was only assumed based on what Kelson figured out in that situation. What you got, Sade?
I just want to add that I'm adding on to what you're saying, Chris. A 12-year-old is in town. He knows ain't none of y'all niggas doctors. All right? He knows y'all don't know what the fuck you're talking about. And then you say your mama got cancer. There's nothing we can do. He like, hell no, it's a doctor southeast of the bridge.
He don't know what cancer is, though.
No, I'm saying if they explained it, he would be like, I don't buy it because none of y'all are doctors. But there's a real doctor over here, and it probably still would motivate him to find a real doctor. I'm getting a second opinion. Y'all are farmers. Go farm.
That's actually a great point. That actually may have put a bigger battery in his back.
Yeah.
That my mom is dying. Oh, my mom's dying. Bet this doctor got a cure.
Cause y'all farmers, leave me alone.
Yeah, Jason. Yeah, I feel like not telling him. Like I don't think that would have. That's an excellent point.
Man, you telling this nigga, hey, cancer is not a cure, but you don't know what it is. I mean, the thing is, you don't know what it is. So even if they knew, like I said, them knowing, hey, it's cancer, it's not curable, bro.
I'm not buying it.
There's nowhere. There's no taking me nowhere. We lived this 28 years ago, son. There was no cure for cancer then. The world went to shit before, so there is no cure for that. I gotta live this process out, whatever it may be. The nigga can put me down, maybe. You know, he might take me out a lot quicker, a lot sooner. But now again, I am not defending Spike, bro. I need that to be understood, dog.
Okay.
I am not defending Spike. He made. I appreciated Spike. I appreciated Spike in this film. This is his first film too.
I like that nigga set that thing on fire. I ain't like him when he didn't want to get up. When his daddy was like, "You stand up," he was like, "Ah." I was like, I do not like this little boy. But when he set that motherfucking store on fire, he has an enemy in me. I'm beefing with a 12-year-old, actually.
Crazy.
I feel the same way. I would have left Spike at the beginning of the movie.
You wouldn't leave your kid, bro.
He took too long to shoot the zombie out the ceiling.
This not Ellie. This ain't Ellie. You said what?
Why did the zombie have time to break free out the ceiling? Why are you nothing like Spike? He should have been left behind. He's a liability.
Oh my God, that killed me. I'm sitting here, and then when he finally shot the zombie was this close to him, and the blood splattered. And I said, Spike, hurry up.
And then they never seem to shoot them before they make a noise. If you know they signaling their homeboys when they scream, you need to be trying to shoot as soon as possible. Y'all giving them too much time to get air in their lungs. Now they screaming and there's 20 more coming. Yeah, it's certain parts weren't realistic. They talk too loud. Yeah. I'm gonna watch the next one still, but they talk.
But if you live in it, if you've lived in it, the characteristics you're referring to are more so in the first movie because they hadn't dealt with it. So them people they had to
in a quiet place. They stayed quiet.
Well, that's because
the world they lived in.
That's a little bit different.
They only zombies. Why y'all using guns? Why are you shooting guns? What is wrong with you? And you letting up. Why are you doing that? What are we doing? We're inviting them. It's like I feel like people should have got quieter, but everyone just stayed loud.
Because even in The Walking Dead, like if you make a noise, the zombies are slow, so you still got a head start. They can just come running at you from anywhere, and they don't get tired. So they can be running for a long time from a long time. You don't. You kind of got to be quiet. Yeah, they was tripping. You know, they were tripping sometimes.
Those were fast zombies, bro. You do what the fast zombies don't know. You don't bullshit. This ain't Shaun of the Dead where you could just like dance around them hoes. Your ass grass. The numbers get too high, you are dead. Unless you miraculously get saved by a soldier out of the roof of the gas station and survive an explosion.
Man.
It sounds like we cannot fucking with this movie a little bit.
I'm fucking with it. I just realized there is no such thing as a realistic zombie movie. It's just a zombie.
It can't be. I mean, it can't be as horror. It'll never be realistic.
I know.
People talk about like, like a Scream or something. Like we just got a nigga just slashing, but once you get to the infected part of it, none of this shit real.
I feel like Train to Busan was kind of realistic.
Man,
I still need to watch that. I heard that's a great movie.
That might be the best zombie movie. Dawn of the Dead kind of realistic too.
Man, Train to Busan, bro. Fuck that.
You don't like that movie? So you don't like Asians?
I need to know what. Oh, y'all saying China? Okay.
Asian hate.
Stop Asian hate, nigga. What are you doing? Hashtag.
Is that the one when they're on the train?
Yeah.
I did watch it.
Korean.
I just don't remember.
Yeah, Korean film.
Nah, it's a good movie. There's a couple. I feel like Dawn of the Dead. I mean,
Army of the Dead.
I never watched that one.
Nah, they had zombie tigers, dog.
What movie was this?
Zombies. Army of the Dead with Batista and with Ghost from Power.
Ain't that on Netflix? Let me watch that.
Ghost from Power in a zombie movie?
Yeah. It's a fun ass movie.
Having range.
Y'all sound unimpressed. Is it trash?
No, it's fun. No, it's a good movie. Just like it's not realistic because they got like this. Not a spoiler. They got pregnant zombies and these niggas communicating. And they got tiger zombies. Like it's a fun ass time, but it's a little it's shit.
It's 2.5 hours long. Is there a story behind this? That's long.
Guess who did it? Guess who did the movie?
Your bestie, Zack Snyder.
Zack Snyder just be putting shit together and just throwing niggas in the film. Hey, this shit's gonna go crazy. We got zombie sharks. What?
I mean, if you think about it, they are mammals. They are intaking a zombie's body. You could get. Who says animals have to be immune? Y'all get sick just like us.
That's true.
The Last of Us, those dogs did not get infected. But in Resident Evil, they got infected.
Yeah.
If we find out that animals not infected, why are we not studying their DNA, trying to figure out the difference to what's the similarities between all the animals? So there's one thing in all of these things that stops them from getting infected. We should be cross-examining some shit. So yeah, no, I don't know. Unless all the science is dead, because that is a thing. I can't cross-examine nothing.
And that's what happened in The Walking Dead. Like when they were trying to work on the cure, like all the scientists died. So they had no one else to work on it. But I feel like the animals in The Walking Dead weren't infected. But for the most part, the zombies didn't mess with them. But every now and then they would eat them. Every now and then.
Yeah, because a horse did get ate up in The Walking Dead. Damn, that was sad.
Yeah,
that was sad.
I hope you ain't bring it up, but it was kind of sad.
Oh my god!
It was a beautiful horse too. I said, run.
It was majestic.
I'm not an animal person, so them animals get popped and stopped. I'd be like, yeah, no, I'm just playing. I'm just not. I'm not an animal person.
No, you telling the truth.
Jason is Macaulay Culkin from The Good Son. Like Jason is like, I'm fucking up that pit bull from a distance. I know you remember that scene.
I would not harm an animal. Don't do that. Did y'all have any other scene that y'all wanted to discuss from 28 years later, or from the 28 franchise?
I do have a question for y'all. With this film, does it seem like it could have possibly been a standalone?
Yep.
Definitely.
Yep.
Yeah, you don't need the other one.
Stood alone.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could have been completely different.
Yeah.
From it, but it all, you know what it kind of remind me of? What's the movies you don't? Well, we reviewed one of them. Ethan Hawke, The Family, The Safe House.
You talking about The Purge?
The Purge. It kind of reminds me of Purge, where he's just given different scenarios of each situation. Every time it's something different. Like they can stand alone, but they kind of connect it just based on this situation. It doesn't have to It doesn't have to, be connected. Just go to different spots. So
I think it's better that way because after a while, just like with TV shows around, like The Walking Dead, after a while you get tired of seeing them killing zombies. But it's a different cast every time. It's a different storyline every time. They get to not let it go stale. Because how many times do you need to see Michonne cut off a zombie's head? And then you start wondering, are these niggas tired after like season 6? Like, goddamn. So
How
yeah,
are they still alive?
I mean, you start fighting people. At some point, you start fighting people. You start fighting zombies. You just be fighting niggas. That's just, they want to be the biggest, the baddest on there. But then you got niggas like Negan who just like, wait, y'all killed my people. I'm just returning the favor in this situation. I am your neighbor. Not just playing.
I could say how I liked all the suspense and just the dad-son trip. The dad-son trip had me anxious. I was at the edge of my seat, y'all. At the edge of my seat, they saw the alpha from over the horizon, and the man stood there just waiting for him to come out with his dick out, waiting for him to come out the house, and they just stuck in an attic, bro. And then he chased them down the bridge. Like it all was just high anxiety. And then you're like, oh, this nigga, he disciplined. Do you know how disciplined you gotta be to stand on the hill and wait for somebody to walk out the woods?
Yeah.
Still, that's a disciplined zombie. That's weird. So I liked all of that. I liked the whole sequence. Even though, I was anxious, y'all. I was so anxious.
Yeah. Because that's why I feel like, and I said the Act 3 earlier, but I meant Act 2 is where it felt slow, because I feel like when this movie opened up, it was at a 10. I was like, what is happening? I was like, they bringing it. But then it slows down. And then you had different scenes where it's like, it kind of amped up a little bit, but then you just like, why are y'all making these type of decisions? So like, I would say for this movie, I love Act 1 the most.
Love Act 1. Okay.
Yeah, I agree with that, Jazz. Act 1 was definitely, I agree with both of y'all. Like there was suspense, like I'm on the edge. Like that was definitely the best part of the movie.
Leaning forward.
Yeah. Because it was just like, it was good. I don't want to say it was, the other parts weren't like boring, but I could see why like it definitely kind of dialed it back. And some people online, I didn't really see this. Some people say that the second half of the movie has a different tone. I don't know if it necessarily, y'all think it has a different tone?
Yes. It does.
Absolutely.
It becomes the heartbeat of the movie, in my opinion.
Yeah.
See, I didn't really feel like, so I guess like, I didn't really feel like it was a different tone. It was just a different motivation per se. But I feel like the tone was like anxious and survival. So maybe I'm looking at it differently, but a lot of people were saying that and they had issues with it, that it changed. And maybe I was expecting it to go from like lighthearted to serious or dark to serious, but I didn't really see that. I just think that like he is like trying to take care of his mom, and it is heartfelt, but I feel like they always are trying to survive. So maybe that's why I didn't see it. If I feel like people were kind of gassed how much it changed.
But you got to think about what the first part of it was just the action of it all. It's the thing of teaching someone how to survive in that doesn't know how to survive in it. That's not getting it. That's not grasping it. That's not. I mean, they understand the severity of surviving, because one of the best scenes is, while I didn't like how it looked when they did that, but I do appreciate them splicing the party with the fear of them trying to get through the gate. And she was just like, which I understood her whole point and shit. I got to make sure. I need you to be here at least 10 seconds before I open this door, because if you've been bitten, you're going to switch here soon. Yep. I gotta think about us, but then I thought it was gonna go to the eye. Maybe one of them gonna have one of them immune eyes as well, but that didn't even happen. So
that was good camera work. Like kind of splicing that was really cool. I never seen anything like it. I can't remember.
Because it's like they've all, so we don't know they survived. We trying to see, what happens in this moment, or is this going to be a flashback to something different? But I like I said, I appreciated both sides of the film. I look at it as going into the world with your father versus going into the world with your mom. Like if it wasn't, unfortunately she died. I know some people probably not gonna like that. Like she gets killed when she goes out in the field, but I mean she was sick. We knew that before that. She didn't die in action, you know what I'm saying? Like it would have been different, I think,
I hear. Yeah, Hugging Eden would have just been terrible. Because at least the baby get his answers, you know what I'm saying? Like he goes to a professional, he gets a consultation, he has confidence in their words. Oh, if she would have got bit, it would have just all been a waste. He would have cried. He would have died. As soon as his mama got bit, he wouldn't have been able to kill her. He would have died.
And he would
And
have blamed himself.
I mean, that's not so. In fairness, different show. But Rick, he couldn't, and Carl did. So sometimes you need other niggas to step
Carl,
up
do you
for
see
you.
that? He's nothing like Carl. That's not Carl. He's Spike. Spike.
I mean, but Carl wasn't. But Carl wasn't like Carl.
Carl was Carl when he did that.
I hated Carl.
But to be fair, in Jason's defense, Carl did kind of start off like Spike. Like Carl went towards the end, he did like become more like Rick, but he was kind of annoying at first and kind of weak.
Yeah.
Carl was like 7.
Was he that young? I thought
Carl
he was
was like 7.
Oh,
he was young. He wasn't 12. He wasn't 12 till he started wearing his little cowboy hat, smelling himself. At 12, Carl was a gangster because Carl grew up in that shit basically. So we can't compare Carl to a nigga who just jumped off the porch. You've been out there 4 hours. Well, no, it was 24 hours because y'all had to hide in the fucking attic because the alpha was stalking you with his dick out.
He was no, actually Carl was 11. So him and them niggas was the same age.
I don't know, man.
But to be honest, Carl wasn't born in that. Spike was. Carl
that's the difference. That's gonna be the difference. Carl was already here and went into D.
Wasn't born in that. Spike lived on a farm with pigs.
But Spike should have been more. But Spike should have been more equipped. Like this is all he knows. Carl, like,
okay,
that's not fair because they not supposed to let them out the cave until 15.
But hold on. They showed that they trained. They don't just throw them out there. They spend
I feel like they train them once they get to that age. I don't think they train them until
them kids was cold. They were getting headshots.
But hold on, even if they train them against their age, like he still got training. Carl just one day just had to like get ready. Like,
that nigga was at school learning.
Ooh.
He didn't
not
Spike,
archery.
That's what I'm saying. He wasn't out there just doing archery. He didn't start doing archery until he went out there with his dad. He never picked up a bow and arrow until then.
Hold on. This is the difference. This is like, yo, I'm born, like I get an opportunity to practice playing basketball. Even if I don't play in the game, I still practice. That's Spike. Carl just got thrown into the fire.
No. He got thrown into the fire. So he never. There was no training for Spike.
He knew that they knew where to shoot him. He knew where to shoot him.
They said heart and head.
They were winging it.
Heart and head was the conversation. They said that them shooting zombies in the head. Yes, he learned that from his daddy.
Exactly. Carl ain't get that. Carl just woke up one day.
I'm talking. Wait. Time out. Carl ain't just jump out in the street just learn. Nigga had Shane. Shane was teaching him.
But in the middle of a zombie apocalypse, Jason. No, I'm not letting you get this off, Jason.
Yes, you are.
Jason,
you are.
Jason, the zombie apocalypse.
We're gonna jump him.
And Carl had to learn on the fly. It's like if a zombie apocalypse happened now, you got to learn that shit on the fly. Spike was born into this, so even if he only trained once a week, that's more than what Carl got.
He knew what a zombie was.
He never had to deal. I'm saying no. My thing is he never trained. There was never a day of training for him to go and shoot an arrow. Both of them niggas knew what zombies were at some point.
Oh no! Time out. So you telling me you think they just went into the mainland and he had no training whatsoever?
Yes, that was the first time.
No, it wasn't. His dad.
There was no conversation about him training about anything.
They literally made him a new bow. They were like, "Here's your new bow, nice and strong arm.
This is your bow. Pull it back to see how you do it." He's never shot shit. He never shot shit. When I was 7, I was shooting an bow and arrow. That's not fair. And I was good at it. I was just good at it my first time. That's not fair.
Let me say this, Jason. He didn't do any kind of training on the mainland prior to when we started this film.
He never did training.
But Jason, no, but you think about it. There were other kids going through the training. You saw that.
What they got to do with Spike? We talking about Spike. We're not talking about everybody else.
But Jason, you think they were training other kids and not Spike?
I believe they don't get you doing it until you 15. I think all of it comes at that same exact time. Personally,
where did 15 come from if they took them to the mainland at 12?
What are we talking about?
What are we talking about?
Okay, wait, no, Mike. The point of it is okay. So the conversation was he is too young to go. Correct.
That's not what we talking about.
No. Wait. Follow me.
Okay, yeah,
bro.
He was too young to go. Yes,
I
He
don't
was
want
too
to
young
follow
to he was too young to go.
Okay,
All right.
yes.
So at 15 is when they go to the mainland. Correct.
No, he was 12.
We're not talking about that. We're talking about
15,
people.
yeah.
15 is when they take. I don't believe they begin training them until 15. I don't think they do
The
any of that
kids were
stuff.
little. The kids were small who were shooting.
I don't think they shoot shit until they 15.
You
I don't
didn't
think
see
they
the
touch a
scene
bow in there. I
in
don't
the
think they do
show?
any of that. I did.
Jason, it's implied that he had training. Like that's
Yeah.
implied. That's heavily implied.
Where?
Jay, what do you, like the movie? So you, Jason, so you telling me, Jay? So okay, I'm gonna ask you this. So you think that on week 1 of the NFL season, you telling me they haven't practiced?
Bro, whoa. We talking about a
Yeah,
zombie
you telling me
apocalypse.
they have not
We talking about a
practiced?
zombie apocalypse.
You
We
telling me they
talking
have
about a
not
zombie
practiced?
apocalypse.
You get
We
the
talking about
analogy.
a zombie
Jason,
apocalypse.
you're telling me they have not practiced?
Yes, that's not the same.
Okay, so he been practicing.
This nigga went out with his dad. That's practice for him. It's
Yeah.
practice now. Now we are training and practicing at the
Listen,
same
all right,
exact time.
wait. Jason, you can tell that they practice based off of his father's being able to guide him. He said, remember your breath. Remember steady hands, because we talked about this already. It's just like we practice. Remember, he kept saying remember because they practice it. Because you are not about to bring your child into the most dangerous situation ever unprepared. He was really Gohan in that nigga, because everybody was like, he not ready.
The whole conversation was
you
about this
weren't
nigga
in
not
the
being
hyperbolic
prepared.
time chamber with me and him training. You don't know what my son could do, so I'm taking him to the mainland because this Gohan, and Gohan beat Cell ass, even though everybody thought he wouldn't, and Goku was like, y'all don't know my fucking son. So that was that moment. He trained his son.
He really didn't beat Cell. I'm just saying, no, he didn't. He didn't beat Cell.
He got cocky. He could have beat Cell. He got cocky.
He could have.
And he did beat Cell in the end. His daddy blew up. He came back down to earth, and he disintegrated Cell.
Yeah, what are we talking about? Jazz, I see what you be going through. What are we talking about?
Nah, fuck that. No.
I'm like, wait, no, you're wrong. Why are you so
No.
passionate about
No.
this?
So you were telling me, Jason, you were telling me they put them in a situation because they told them that, like, if you can come back, but if you don't come back, we're not coming to get you. You telling me you telling me they sent someone with no training in that situation?
He was with his dad. He didn't go by himself.
You telling me they sent him in with no training into that situation, with none whatsoever? That was his test. That was his trial run.
He was with his dad.
That was his first time ever touching the bow and arrow.
No, I don't. Yes, I truly believe that because he was with his father. He wasn't by himself. If he was by himself,
we're not doing this. Next subject.
I will say we will agree to disagree on.
Fuck that degree to disagree shit, bro. Get the fuck out of here. No. We ain't agreeing to disagree shit. And I muted her. We ain't doing that. I don't care. I always want to agree, disagree. No, nigga, sometimes niggas know. We just gonna leave the shit where it is. Fuck that. No, where we go? What's the question?
Jason.
You got a question? Go to the question.
Jason.
I'm gonna stand on it.
Jason, you can stand 10 toes down.
What is she talking? What is your ass talking about right now?
My nigga, chill shit, my nigga, chill out on that view shit. All I'm saying is, obviously, Sade and Chris have their thoughts on it. They disagree with you, and there's no changing either person's mind. We will let the viewers and the listeners decide. Okay, that's completely fine. But I think we were able to pretty much go through this to a very large extent. But we need to get to the point of, like, where would we rank the franchise, the trilogy that we currently have now? Where would we rank these? So, Sade, I'm going to start with you. Out of the 28 days, weeks, years, how would you rank the films from the best to the least?
I liked the first one more than all of them, and that's because I really enjoyed the black lady's character. I like how it was only 28 days, and she was already Michonne. She was already like, look, this is the world. This is how it goes. Nut up. And then I ranked this one second. I like this one more than number two. Number two is okay, but I like this one more. Even though I do not like Spike, but I think that if I have a movie where I don't like a character, that's good because I'm invested enough to dislike a nigga. So yeah, I'm invested enough to dislike you. But I like this one just because they focus a lot on the actual I'm not the actual zombies. Hold on. They focus on civilization and how civilization was being rebuilt and stuff like that. And I like seeing the hope that the island created. I like seeing like, okay, 28 days later, y'all got it together. Even though y'all really didn't because y'all still quarantined. It kind of, I mean, 28 years later, it kind of sucks that they still quarantine. It's like, damn, the zombie apocalypse, the world might really end. We probably don't stand a chance. But I like seeing that civilization kind of rebuilt. People had bars and parties and stuff again because the zombie apocalypse movies where they just fighting for survival, y'all. I'd be wondering if it's worth it. So I'm happy to see a movie that tells me like, hey, you might live, because I'd be like, damn, would I off myself? I don't know. But my legs would just be sore. I just be tired of running one day, y'all. I'm hungry. When I get hungry, I get rational. They go days without eating. I can't imagine being hungry for that long. So yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Chris, what you got for your rankings?
I have the same exact one. Like the number one is way ahead. And then I would put second. I don't really like number two. That's like last for me. Like I don't really care for it, but I feel what you're saying because I feel like we've seen like zombies are like a tough thing to make new. And even though I think that this movie does have some flaws, I do appreciate it for giving us like a different story. That it truly is like a very human story, and it really is just like about like kind of to Jason's point, it's a family drama, and it really is about a boy saving his mom, and like the zombies are just like kind of like an inconvenience, but it really is about like this boy willing to do anything for his mom, and like not thinking rationally, but it really, honestly, I will say he definitely do love his mom, you know, like even at a young age, and like he did some dumb stuff, but he also did some very brave stuff too, and I feel like a movie that like if you have a horror movie that can kind of be bigger than just like whatever the villain is, then I can appreciate it. So I feel I feel like in a lot of ways this is like more of a complicated movie than number two. Number two is very straightforward, and which is
they gotta survive.
Yeah, it's just straight survival, which is cool. I like this, but this is a movie you can actually think about. So I'll put this definitely ahead of three, but neither one are touching one at all.
Neither one.
Okay. Jason, what about you?
He might be different. I put two as number one.
I prefer two.
You're not alone. My two is
100%.
Who is your favorite?
One is very boring.
Wait, who's your favorite?
Two may be my favorites, but I'm probably gonna go 3, 2, 1. I'm probably gonna go 3, 2, 1.
Okay.
Yeah, I find one to be very, very boring, very slow.
You gotta think about the time.
The third act. The third act. It picks up in the third act, of the actual story. And then I get the Cillian's character's point in freeing the slaved zombie to allow him in the house to kill people, but we also remember the girls that you're trying to save are also in this house where the zombies that you are freeing to kill people to kill other people are in this house too. So Jazz, what about you?
I'm gonna say 2, 1, and 3. I like 2 probably because everybody but the kids got killed. They was getting the people up out of here, and because you kind of had that hope of a cure, even though they kind of didn't explore that too much. But
I'm gonna finish 2. I ain't finished 2. I got like 35 minutes left.
That nigga beat did the daddy take the gun and beat the bitch with the gun at the end?
The wife or who?
He killed the doctor.
Yes, the doctor. Yeah, he fucked her up. Yeah.
It was just like, what the fuck? But and like I said, they always have like all the films have like this unexpected death. Like I think the first one you would have been the dad. The second one, I think Jeremy. I mean, you have a lot of unexpected death in number 2.
Yeah.
Because Jeremy, him getting burnt up was kind of wild. But then you have the dad getting killed because he kissed the mom. That was wild. I mean, a lot of the shit was in number two. Is just like he was like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah. It's like y'all could have did better with this, or no, the decisions could have been done better. It's just like why was the person who y'all just picked up
By herself,
and for him to go in there and kiss her, it's just like, what are we doing?
Slap her down, baby. Slap her down.
I mean, it's just like the. I mean, it's just like the here. This is like the monkeys. Why are they anywhere where people can just get to them?
Didn't they break in?
The freedom fighters. Freedom.
Yeah,
they shouldn't. Hey, you shouldn't. Hey, my nigga, look, my nigga. If we know these motherfuckers are infected and to a point of where some shit can really crack off, nobody should be able to just break into this bitch just willy nilly.
Military though, you know what I'm saying? If this is a military facility, then I feel you. They scientists.
You think scientists ain't got these motherfuckers locked down where niggas can't just walk up in there?
I mean, it was regular people. It was just a girl in a t-shirt. No co-ops clothing. They come through. They didn't grapple into that motherfucker. They just a girl in some jeans.
Just walked in the building, just like that was at a regular Walmart. Like just the doors just slide open. Anybody can just walk. Hey, I would advise y'all not to do that. Bitch, fuck you. These monkeys they look terrified. Bitch, they're infected. Oh, what you mean? Yes, they look terrified. They're ready to kill a motherfucker.
And they did.
One thing
I just realized why I like 3, y'all. Because the other 2 movies are movies about surviving the zombies. It's really about just you gotta live. But this one, it just seems like a story about a boy, but zombies exist in his world. They're zombies, but there's a story about, the story. There's actual storyline. And a lot of the movies, they'd be like, niggas should be dropping. You can't even get too connected to a character because they're gonna die. They're gonna die. They're gonna get eaten and all the other zombie stuff. Like, dang, man, I liked him. I started to like Rumpelstiltskin, even though he left his wife. I get it, cause girl, leave that child alone. She really did that to herself. Then she gonna say, "Help us, y'all." That lady, he was like, "Come on, baby, come on." She was like, "The boy." Then she ran, and he like told you, and she like, "Help us, girl." Girl, bye. Girl.
Why she didn't jump out the window? Like it was so many different things she could have did. She would have died. She would have died.
To be fair, that window was thick as hell, my nigga. Like she would have tried to jump and then hit it right then and there.
She could have
just lay it down.
Bro, man, look, man. She could have, hit her with hit the shoulder or something. Now I don't know when she hit the ground. Now she's gonna be in trouble. She was gonna be in trouble.
One thing I like about this trilogy is that all 3 movies do have a different vibe. So it kind of comes down to what you want. Like 1 to me is more like an isolation. Like when they out in the countryside, like to me, that's kind of the bulk of the movie. And then when they go and save like the sex slave, the women that are sex slaves. But a lot of that is isolation. Number 2 is straight action. And then number 3 is kind of like a drama a little bit more. So it kind of really comes down to like, what you're looking for.
Too bloody, baby. Why do they throw up like that? Why did they throw up like that? But also, we didn't see a lot of transformations in this one because everyone is already turned. Right. Everyone turned already. That's why it was, yeah.
Which I kind of appreciate that. I kind of like that is like a nice different, like this movie, like again, it's flawed, but it did do some things that are kind of different that I appreciate. So it definitely, like, you can't really say that this movie is that is just like your typical zombie movie. So I like that. I appreciate that.
Yeah, if you're going out looking for somebody to get torn apart, you might not get much of it in compared to a normal zombie movie. You know what I'm saying? You will get zombies, but just people dropping. That many people left. It's not enough people to keep killing.
I thought that town was about to get. I swear, I thought the Alpha was about to go into that town and fuck them up. That's what I thought was going to happen. And I was just like, oh, so y'all just took things away from the town.
The zombies was behind him. I thought he had somebody else. He was by himself. Lucky for them.
That would have been crazy.
Because he screamed. I was like, oh, can his homeboys hear him? But they across the ocean, so they ain't hear him.
Yeah.
But he screamed. That scream, but they come running. Like, oh.
It was wild. But the reason why we are here, was it good though? Sade, I'm going to start with you.
Yes, it was good. If you are able to go into a movie theater and take a movie for what it is and not what you expect it to be. So try to just watch it and take it in and don't say, well, I thought it'd be this and I thought it'd be that. Watch it for what it is and I think you'll be able to enjoy it.
Okay. Chris, was it good though?
I'm gonna say yes, but I should have took Sade's advice because I did go in there with expectations. I did go in there wanting something, and I enjoyed it. But to be honest, I did think it was gonna be better. Like I was thinking this could be like horror movie of the year, and it wasn't that. But I still say it was good though.
Okay. Jason, was it good though?
It was. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Jazz, was it good though?
Damn, quick. Yes, I will say that. I know you loved it. Yes, I had a good time with this film, even though I did have my gripes with it, and I thought it's always interesting. Before it dropped, they were just like, "Oh, something that could probably match Sinners," because a lot of people was posting stuff like, "Oh, which movie is going to be better, 28 years later or Sinners?"
I saw that, and that's why I went in at high expectations.
Yeah, and then I saw it, and I said, "Ooh,
I don't even think it was second best."
What y'all like Sinners?
I loved it. Yeah, I think it's a really good movie.
Did you like Sinners?
Ooh, she don't.
Damn.
Well,
hey, look, grand opening, grand closing. We don't have to worry about our link of thrones, Jason.
I went to Sinners with expectations because I saw everyone's post about it. And I love vampire things, TV shows, movies. If it's a vampire in it, count me in, okay? But this was not a vampire movie. This was a movie that had a couple vampires in it. Because the people didn't even know what a vampire was till then. And then once they were introduced with them, all of them were murdered. You didn't get a hunter or anything like that. And so I went in it with expectations, and it really, I'm sorry. It isn't that I disliked it. I just didn't love it. Like, I wouldn't watch it again.
Ooh, really?
Yeah, I wouldn't watch it again. I don't think. No. Not voluntarily. Like, if somebody got it on, I wouldn't be like, boo, I'd watch it. But I wouldn't be like, ooh, Sinners on Netflix. Let me see what it's doing. Like,
so which one? So you taking 28 years later over Sinners?
Oh, I guess so. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. But I don't even like. Yeah, because I'd watch this again.
Wait. Was it? I mean, because he said you didn't care for Sinners, so I mean, you gotta pick it
gotta
over
be.
it, right?
Yeah, I'm like, yeah. No, I'm saying I didn't hate Sinners, but it's like the measure.
Was it good?
Of
was it good though?
Was Sinners good?
Yes, that's the end. Yes. Was it good though?
Was it a complete storyline? Let me think about it. I gotta revisit Sinners.
Ooh,
did I fall asleep watching Sinners, babe? Oh, he said I fell asleep, so I'm gonna watch it again.
So wait, you didn't even watch the whole movie?
Sometimes I doze off in the movies, and I'll be knowing how long I be sleeping. But
no. See, that, you know what? You know what? That's fair, because when we have these conversations, we have like, what do you like better? And then we have like 4 movies, and niggas be like, I ain't ever seen them 2, so I'm gonna just do it based on no, motherfucker. You need to have watched every movie to be able to have an opinion on it. So you know what? I'm with you, Sade. You however you feel right now is fair. Niggas allow that. I don't. Niggas allow that. I'd be like, nah, we don't. Nah, we're not doing that.
Jason is guilty of doing that within the past week, but I'm gonna let him know.
When?
I remember commenting on that shit, and I was like, if we follow your rules, it's probably somewhere in our Discord.
When? What happened? What? Explain the moment.
Jason, this episode is way too long. We could talk about this after the episode.
We right here. It's just a quick.
It's not gonna be quick, but it did happen. But when I find it, I will share it with you, so then I can do a quick reminder for you.
I'll let you know how I feel. I'll revisit it. I didn't too much like what I saw, though. I don't know. I didn't like what I saw.
It's okay. Okay. Well, we do appreciate what you said. No link. Did you have a
No, I didn't do nothing since the movie just dropped.
Got you. All right, cool. Well, we do appreciate you guys for coming in and chatting with us about the 28 years later. Hopefully we get you guys back whenever I don't know if it's a sequel at this point, because I feel like they start them over. But whenever the next movie come out, hopefully we can bring you guys back to chat about that. Hopefully it's a better reception. Hopefully Spike is matured or whatever in that movie, or maybe he doesn't. Maybe he doesn't mature. We can complain some more about what he does. In there. I mean, he can't. It's only 6 months, so he can't get too much better.
That makes the whole village out. Oh.
Burn that shit down.
We do appreciate you guys for chatting on there. Sade, I appreciate you.
See you
Thank you
later.
for
Great
coming
meeting
on.
y'all.
Chris, appreciate you for chatting with us as
course.
well. But yeah, this is episode 160. Last week 159 we did Last of Us. 161 next week. Is it what is it? No, Jurassic? No. Is it Jurassic Park?
I think so. Yes.
I think we'll be talking about Jurassic Park, yeah, because we had to some things had to be switched up because of how something got released. But yes, but it's episode 160. 28 years later. This is the Was It Good Though podcast about movies and TV shows. I am one of your hosts. I am Jason.
I am Jazz.
And until next time, people, deuces.
Cheers.